Welcome to college football on ESPN. Midweek Maction tonight from Buffalo, where the UB Bulls have bowl eligibility still alive at 3-6 tonight. They host the Falcons from Bowling Green. It has been a season of heartbreak for Lance Leipold's Buffalo Bulls. 3-6 to the edge of being eliminated from a bowl. And those 6 losses have come by an average of less than 5 points per game. 2 one-point losses, plus the epic 7 overtime defeat to Western Michigan. Hi, folks. Kevin Brown with former Buffalo Bill Ray Bentley. Pleased to be with you from UB Stadium. And for Buffalo, yes, 3-6. They have to win their final 3 to get to a bowl game. The good news, though, they have their quarterback back.
That is good news for them. Tyree Jackson made his return last week after 4 weeks out with a knee injury. And when he came back, it was a different quarterback. He was a dual threat guy before he got hurt. Came back last week, didn't run a single time, threw the ball 50 times for over 300 yards, and he has a favorite target, and that's the guy that they need to get the ball to, and that's Anthony Johnson. He's outstanding. They like to get it to him at least 15 times during the course of the game. They'll move him all over, use him as a decoy. His strength is going up in a crowd and yanking that ball back down.
Top 10 in the nation in yards per game, Johnson. For Bowling Green, meanwhile, 2-7 the record, but this is a team that finished last year strong with 3 straight wins. They had a big win last week over Kent State, thanks to a couple of fabulous young players.
They got a couple of true freshmen on offense that are worth taking a look at. Jarrett Dagey, their quarterback, and then Andrew Clare, the running back. Clare's an explosive guy. He's got great patience, lateral quickness, and the first guy rarely will get him down. Now, Jarrett Dagey, he's supremely confident in the pocket, very advanced understanding of the offense for such a young football player. Does a great job with his progressions, but the best thing is his deep ball. He throws that accurately and on time, and that's huge in this Bowling Green offense.
Head coach for Dagey in his second year, Mike Jinks, came from Texas Tech. The latest in a long line of what's been some very successful coaches at Bowling Green. The most recent 2, Dino Babers, now at Syracuse. Dave Clawson, now at Wake Forest. Buffalo will kick it away, and the Falcons, fresh off a 44-16 win over Kent State, will receive. Bowling Green football to start, and a terrific kick return. On a short return, we'll get the Falcons out across the 35. So it will be the true freshman Dagey for Bowling Green. Falcons 2-7. They are 2-3 in MAC play. This is a team coming off a 4-8 year. And the quarterback has been the issue for them. Dagey missed a few games with a back injury. James Morgan, the redshirt sophomore, had a difficult year in his stead. But for Dagey, he's completed 2/3 of his passes. A dual threat option can run as well when needed. First play of the game is a handoff, and it is the freshman Clare, who is so hard to take down for about 1.5 yards. Jordan Collier on the stop.
And right away, they're getting the ball into the hands of that freshman running back, Andrew Clare. But coming into this game, actually prior to this game, they wanted him to get the ball 8 to 12 times was good. They said 15, as many as that tonight, as he gets further progressed throughout this season. And they're going to test him out tonight.
On the screen, this is going nowhere. Blown up by the Bulls as T.O. Redding gets walloped by Jared Franklin.
Great recognition by Franklin, seeing that quick pass to the outside and then running the alley to make the hit. And that puts Bowling Green in 3rd and long, not where they want to be. Buffalo loves to blitz. Let's see if they dial one up here.
Franklin Collier with the first 2 tackles. Khalil Hodge, the leading tackler, the middle linebacker, the strength of this UB defense. Dagey on a 3rd down and 9. Has some time to throw, and he missed his receiver, threw it behind Janarvis Pugh. 3 and out for Bowling Green to begin the game.
Not the way Bowling Green wanted to start this game. And one of the things that has been an issue for them is starting ball games. They played better in the second half. Not what they did last week either. They were extremely good early last week, jumped out to a 17-0 lead. Here's a 3 and out.
Joseph Davidson at 6'7", one of the nation's best punters, will kick it away. KJ Osborne is back deep for the Bulls. And the left-footed Davidson gets up a high one Osborne with a fair catch made at his own 21-yard line, a punt of 41 yards. There's a flag down right in the middle of the field.
Receiving team, 10 yards from the end of the kick, first down.
Ron Hudson is our referee tonight. First time we hear from him. So for Lance Leipold's Bulls, it will be the redshirt sophomore Tyree Jackson. We just saw a 6'7" punter, which is awfully rare. It's not quite as rare, but not common you see a 6'7" quarterback, but that's what you have in Jackson.
Yeah, when he came to Buffalo, he was 6'5", and he's grown that much in the last 3 years, and they don't know if he's done yet, as a matter of fact, but he is a physical specimen. 245 pounds, he can run. I mean, it's a coach's dream. The deal with him is getting him those reps, those game speed reps, so that he can take advantage of all those talents and strengths that he has.
Began the season as the starter, hurt his knee in the fourth game against Florida Atlantic and missed the next 4. So both teams have used 3 quarterbacks this year. Officials are having some trouble spotting this football.
The foul was on the kicking team. The 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick. First down, Buffalo.
Well, that's unusual. You don't typically see a foul on the punting team. And it should be terrific field position once this ball is set down for UB.
One special note on Tyree Jackson, it's his birthday.
That's right.
20 years old today.
Happy 20th for Tyree.
We'll see how happy it is.
So far, it's good. And here's a quick hitter to his favorite target, Johnson. They love to get him involved early. That's catch number 56 for Johnson, who comes into the game 112 yards shy of 1,000. He'd be the 4th Bull ever to do that.
And they'll move him around. Originally, he started as an X-receiver primarily. That's to the weak side, the lone guy over there. But people figured out where he was, and they started double covering him. And so now they move him around and try to avoid those combination coverages.
Johnson at the top of your screen right now after a gain of a couple on first down. Emmanuel Reed is the running back, sophomore from Crestview, Florida, and he will take the ball here. Reed jetting behind his offensive line, and the pulling block of the center, James O'Hagan. Gain of 5 yards for the 5'8" sophomore Reed.
And the Buffalo running game kind of reawoke last week. They had several tough opponents, and Reed had a knee bruise, and it kind of slowed their running game down for several weeks. Last week, they came back, and Reed got over 100, and they moved the ball well on the ground.
4th 100-yard game of the season for him. It's a team that lost its starting back, Jonathan Hawkins, the 3rd game of the year. Jackson on a 3rd down. Fires one, and nearly intercepted. It was behind his intended target, and Brandon Harris, the outside linebacker, had it in his hands but couldn't hang on.
Yeah, that's one Tyree Jackson is very fortunate it didn't go the other way. And the thing about it was he had Anthony Johnson out of that bunch set wide open across the middle of the field, but he took his eyes off him.
Back-to-back 3-and-outs to start. Kyle DeWeen will kick it to Marcus Milton. Movement up front, we have a flag. Pointing from side.
That's one thing you'll always see when that flag goes out. It wasn't me, it was them.
And the Bulls are going to get the benefit here. Offense coming back out of the field.
Offside, number 24, defense. 5-yard penalty is enough for a first down.
That's just a big error. It's Tavares Wade, who's a defensive back playing on special teams, and that's an alert, especially when it's 4th and less than 5. That's one of the things that everyone talks about while they're on the field. Hey, don't jump off sides. It gives them a free first down. Well, that's what they did.
And Wade's a player who really just plays on special teams. So the critical error gives Buffalo a fresh set of downs. Jackson will give it to his back, Reed again. Buffalo likes to try and establish the run game early, and We talked to these coaches, Lance Leipold, this morning, Ray. They don't want Jackson to run too much coming back from the knee. We might see it a little bit in this game, but most of it seems like it's not in the playbook.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me because looking back, he averaged around 12 carries a game back when he initially started as a starter. After taking that month off with the knee injury, he watched his replacement, Drew Anderson, play really well from the pocket, and I think he picked up a lot from that.
Now the carry for Reed sets up a 3rd and 3 after a gain of 4. Tackled by Clint Stevens, the Bowling Green corner.
Stevens missed last season with an injury, and he's come in now, and he's fighting for playing time with Cameron Jeffries, the starter, and he's done a really good job.
He's either broken up or deflected 17 passes, and he's picked off 3, Clint Stevens. On a 3rd down, another handoff for Reed, and he is smacked in the middle. Penetration came from big Nico Lautinen, number 54, and the Bulls will bring out the punt team again.
Lautinen got his first start last week and played extremely well. And so they're riding that hot horse, and he showed you he can play. He's very quick and uses his hands extremely well. And let's see if Bowling Green can not go off sides and maybe get a punt return here.
DeWeen will kick it away. The ball spotted at midfield.
And the Falcons left their defense on the field playing punt safe.
Fair catch called for by Milton. He will let it bounce inside the 5, and this thing spirals out of bounds to the 1. A 49-yard punt for DeWeen, and Bowling Green will have 99-plus yards to go to the end zone when we return. Terrific kick by DeWeen, and a hometown Buffalo bounce. Falcons will start this possession from inside their own 1-yard line after the 49-yard punt from Kyle DeWeen. Falcons are a good running team, and the back right now is Josh Cleveland. They'll try to get some breathing room, and they will do so as Cleveland stretches out near the 5 for a gain of 4.
And Cleveland is, they say, the quickest 10 yards in all of the MAC. That's what Bowling Green sells him as. And he has great explosiveness. The thing about him is you don't know where he's going to end up. He's one of those guys that you call an inside zone, and next thing you know, he's going around the end. And that can be a double-edged sword for an offense, but he's been productive.
He's a 4.3 40 runner there starting back, and Cleveland will take it again here and get spun down. Ball came out as well. Bulls are trying to argue and say they have it before Cleveland went down.
They came up with it. Number 90, Justin Brandon, has the football. The question is, did it get popped out? It looked like Brandon not only recovered it, but forced it.
As the ball was taken from the offensive player prior to him being down. First down, Buffalo.
And you can see he tackles the football, and it comes out of the hands of Cleveland and lands right into his belly. And he's got it. That's his ball all the way.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 9 minutes, 47 seconds. 9-4-7.
So Brandon with his first forced fumble and first recovered fumble of the season in the same play.
That's a man play right there. I mean, you got to be a man to just rip the ball out of somebody's hands. I've seen it one other time this year against Bowling Green, but that happened against the rookie Andrew Clare against Northern Illinois.
So 1st and goal for Buffalo from the 6. Give to the running back Reed, a stutter step and only a yard. Well, we talked to these Buffalo coaches about their defense. Brandon and Chris Ford, the 2 inside tackles, are not the guys who pick up the most statistics, but Lance Leipold and the defensive coordinator Brian Boylan praised their play, and that's the biggest play of this game so far made by Brandon.
No doubt. Now, Buffalo struggled a little bit in the red zone, had a critical interception against Akron last week that would have been the difference in that ball game. So they need to find a way to punch it in down here.
Double tight end set. It is Reed bouncing off a player and finding the end zone. 8th touchdown of the season for Emmanuel Reed. And the Bulls strike pay dirt after the takeaway.
And you mentioned it. He ran into Marcus Milton. Milton had him. I mean, he had him wrapped up. But Reed showed some power for a littler guy. He's only a 190-pounder, but he pulls out of the arms and the grasp of Milton. You see Milton come off the edge, and then watch Reed be able to get away from him and struggle into the end zone for Buffalo to draw first blood.
Extra point from Adam Mitchison makes it 7-0. Points off the turnover for Buffalo. The sophomore Emmanuel Reed started the season as the backup, took over 3 games in, and he has the first points of this Tuesday Maction affair.
College football, brought to you by Sonic's Car Hop Classic. Pair a foot-long coney or a cheeseburger with onion rings for $2.99. And Allstate, official protector of college football fans.
The ESPN app is a fan's best friend. Stream every ESPN and ABC college football game live at home or on the go. You'll get access to scores, news, and highlights all season long. Download the ESPN app. Start streaming tonight. Bowling Green Falcon is happier than he ought to be right now. His team just turned it over at its own 6-yard line. Bulls punched it in 2 plays later. The run from Emmanuel Reed. Buffalo, a must-have game. The Bulls need to win out to qualify for a bowl at 6-6. Kick is away from Adam Mitchison. Well, this is Wilcox from his own 6-yard line. Runs into his own man, and it still bounces forward. A good return for Matt Wilcox, who was the MAC East Special Teams Player of the Week last week. There is a flag down at the end of the play. Return of 29 seems unlikely to hold.
And that flag came out late.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 6, receive team. 15 yards from the dead ball spot. First down, Bowling Green. That's the first unsportsmanlike of the game for number 6.
Yeah, that's the returner, Wilcox, who is called for the unsportsmanlike penalty. 3rd special teams penalty already against the Falcons.
Yeah, and that's just somebody saying something they should not have said, and they're gonna nab you for that. And this is a sloppy start for this Bowling Green football team. I watched them last week. They went into Kent, and they were sharp right from the get-go. Not the same look in their eyes here tonight yet.
And Coach Mike Jinks in his 2nd season. His team with wins over Miami and Kent, 2-3 in MAC play. And we'll give it to Claire, the freshman, who is swallowed up after a gain of 3 yards. Khalil Hodge on the hit. Well, it's a good lineage of coaches here at Bowling Green that Mike Jinks is falling into. Urban Meyer, a young Urban Meyer before he went to Utah a couple of years at Bowling Green, and the last 2, Dave Clawson at Wake Forest for 5 years, and Dino Babers in the ACC as well, doing a great job with Syracuse. As Claire breaks it to the outside, cuts back in, and gets himself right up near the first down marker. He is so hard to take down.
Great hustle by Chuck Harris running that thing down. And you'll see a lot of those type of plays from that Buffalo defensive line. They keep hunting after that ball gets past them, and that was a great example of it from Harris.
Quick snap here, and Dagey on the quarterback sneak falls across the 30 for a first down. It was quick tempo, knowing they only had a few inches to pick up.
And that's kind of the way Bowling Green will use their tempo. They'll use it situationally, and they like it on those quick, short yardage plays. And also, after they string a couple of first downs together, they got the defense a little worn out. That's when they try to hit the gas pedal on them.
Well, they just picked up their first down of the game. Dagey, the true freshman from his own 31. Pressure collapsing on him, and Dagey is swallowed up by Ford. The interior lineman, Chris Ford, with his first sack of the year. What a start for Buffalo's defensive line.
Chris Ford, he's making his 28th start tonight, and he is a solid guy in the middle of this line. And he's going to just get a one-on-one look, and they basically forgot to block him. The guard looks inside. The tackle was occupied, and they better get a hat for Mr. Ford.
Claire trying to bounce side again. And Claire is spun down, not yet to the original line of scrimmage by Tatum Slack. Let me ask you a question. How do you forget to block a 6'3", 315-pound guy?
They must have not seen him. It's the only thing I can think of. That's just a mind bust. And understand this three guys on the interior of Bowling Green's offensive line. You got John Kurtz is making his second start at right guard, Caleb Bright his second start at center, and Tim Blair is getting his first start at left guard. So they're young in there, and Ford took advantage of it.
Banged up group. Having a tough start to this game. Daigie steps up over the middle of the field, and he hits Datron Guyton for the first down.
Guyton's been really coming on for this Bowling Green football team. Had some excellent plays last week, and he shows you another one there. And Daigie, you mentioned he stepped up into the pocket. That's displaying his composure, and all things are breaking down around him, but he steps up, keeps his eyes down the field, and delivers the mail.
19 on 3rd and 11. Back to the ground here. They have Cleveland in the game, and there goes Cleveland. There's that breakaway speed you talked about, Ray, all the way down to the Buffalo 32 for 19 more.
Well, the first 10 of those 19 were the fastest in the MAC, if you're listening to Bowling Green. And he does have a gas pedal. He can flat out fly.
Right back at it. A quick hitter from Daigie this time. And a couple of yards. Good open field tackle made on Wilcox.
And Bowling Green had the numbers out there, and that's why Daigie whipped it out there. But Tatum Slack was able to basically beat the block and make the tackle. You don't see that very often where a corner can do both those things on one play. A lot of times he's just going to force it back inside where the help is coming from, but not Tatum Slack. He did it all.
This is an area where Bowling Green thinks it has an advantage. Buffalo's best corner, Cameron Lewis, is out, so Slack has come from reserve to a starter tonight. Claire wrapped up and thrown down by Khalil Hodge. Second leading tackler in the country, Hodge, with the stop.
He's something special. I love the way he plays. He's an inside linebacker by trade, but they'll move him around to the edges. He'll be the tip of the spear on some of their blitzes, and then he is outstanding in zone drop pass coverage. This kid can do it all. He's a guy that you might see playing on Sundays. Very productive.
10th play of the drive for Daigie. Takes a shot, it's reeled in. It's a Bowling Green touchdown. It's Quentin Morris, the big freshman out of Richmond, Texas, with his second touchdown of his young career.
When we spoke to the offensive coordinators, Kevin Kilmer and Andy Petrone, they said they had a package for Quentin Morris. And, boy, this is part of it. Just a corner route, little 7 route. Daigie hangs in there and takes the punishment and still delivers the perfect throw. And we were talking about Tatum Slack and how well he did the previous play. Not so much on this one.
They said they had a package, and they said he might score a touchdown tomorrow.
Exactly what they said.
They were on to something.
They must have known something.
Imagine that.
Yeah, right?
Game plan works out beautifully. Extra point for Jake Suter, and it's a terrific drive for Bowling Green. 80 yards in 10 plays, 3 third-down conversions, including this one from freshman to freshman.
Home of the New Year's Six and the College Football Playoff.
New edition of the College Football Playoff Rankings, second edition, released just a few minutes ago, and the only change in the top 6 is TCU moving in. Georgia, Alabama, Notre Dame, and Clemson still in that order consist of the top 4. And we'll have some changes this week, some monster matchups, including 5 versus 6 in the Big 12. Notre Dame, Miami as well.
Basically an elimination game.
Yeah. Loser leaves town sort of thing in both of those games. Well, Saturday night, we're going to have the big one for you on ABC. Miami moved up to number 7 in the college football playoff rankings. They get Notre Dame still at number 3, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. First time these teams have met as ranked teams in 27 years. Notre Dame hoping to be led by Josh Adams in this game, who left the win over Wake Forest, banged up early in the game, but what a season for him. Nearly 9 yards per carry for that explosive Irish run game.
Yeah, they've got a really nice offensive line at Notre Dame, and Adams has been the beneficiary of that.
Third possession for Buffalo, and Tyree Jackson will heave it down the field. He has a receiver, and it's hauled in. It is Kamadi Holsey who got a step on a couple of Falcon defenders.
That was an amazing display of arm talent by Tyree Jackson. He's rolling to his right on the run, and he throws this ball over 50 yards in the air in a perfect strike. He lets it go from the 20, and his man's going to catch it all the way near the 30-yard line on the other end of the field. I don't think Bowling Green thought he could throw it that far. They know now.
It's a gain of 51. Holsey averaging more than 17 yards per catch on the year, the JUCO transfer from Philadelphia.
A real nice game last week. Has been picking it up as the year's gone on.
Back on the ground, Emmanuel Reed with a touchdown. And a couple of yards on first down. Well, you see the tools already with Jackson. We might not see the legs as much tonight, but the arm strength is awfully impressive.
Yeah, and he used the legs to escape the pocket and get to the edge. So I think we will see him run a little bit. He looks like he's moving better tonight than he did last week on tape. But if Bowling Green can't keep him contained, they're going to be in trouble.
Reed out of the game for this second down play. Theo Anderson, who usually gets every third series. Jackson fires a strike here, reeled in by Johnson. He scores a Buffalo touchdown. 2 pass plays on the drive, 72 yards, and a score.
And the arm of Tyree Jackson is jumping off the page right now. He's going to just throw a quick out route. Cameron Jeffries, the corner, has the coverage, and he just doesn't react to the ball. The ball's thrown so fast, it zips in there. Jeffries, by the time he reacts, he kind of overshoots it, and then Johnson's pretty good after the catch. A nice execution. What a drive. An answer.
Didn't take long, did it? 3 plays to go 75 yards after the 10-play drive for Bowling Green. 7 touchdowns for one of the nation's best, Anthony Johnson. Tyree Jackson came back last week after missing 4 games with an knee injury. He said the time off helped him. He got to watch and analyze games for the first time as an experienced college quarterback. I'm not sure you can analyze a 51-yard dime on the run or the rifle he uncorked for the Johnson touchdown.
No, that's just talent stuff right there. But his ability to see those things might have helped. His time off might have helped that.
Matt Wilcox and the Bowling Green return tries to slip through blue. And he is down near the 35. Jeremiah Danabo got him low.
That was quite a display from Tyree Jackson on that last drive. He did not throw the ball with that kind of zip and velocity in last week's game. So he is 1 week further healthy. Actually, a little bit more than that because they played a week ago from Saturday. But my goodness, I did not see that kind of arm strength and arm talent on film.
Oh, we've had 3 touchdowns in a row after 2 punts and a fumble to open the game. Here's a flip dropped by Cleveland. That is an incomplete pass. Fitz Winters ahead. Linesman quickly is on it. Incomplete forward pass for a second down.
This is a close one in terms of whether or not it is a lateral. Let's see where he gets rid of the football. That, to me, is a lateral, no question about it. Now, it's a moot point to some extent because...
The ruling on the field was an incomplete forward pass, second down.
Because Cleveland jumped right on it. But what it would do is move the ball back a couple yards if they decide to review it.
Well, the officials are not going to take a look at this, or are they?
They just stopped it.
Harold
Or
Dynas.
maybe Buffalo challenged it. I know Coach Leipold's out on the field, and he was in the ear pretty good.
Harold Dynas is our replay official, and he might be pressed into service early.
Yeah, and it really is. There's not a whole lot of competitive advantage on this thing. Basically, it's just going to be a loss of a few yards for Bowling Green. Take another look at it, and throws the ball from the 30, and it's going to be caught on the 31 or dropped on the 31, or excuse me, 29 the other way. But to me, it's almost moot because Cleveland jumps right on it. So if they change this play, it'll be 2nd and 12 rather than 2nd and 10.
Line of scrimmage at 35. Looks like he fell out at the 33.
Coach Leipold is still making his case over there.
Still talking to Ron Hudson, the referee.
He's got that look like, I can't even believe it, what I'm hearing. Coach Jenks, he's just minding his own business. For now.
This play is not going to be reviewed after all,
right.
Despite Lance's best efforts.
And I think it's because of very little competitive effect on the play.
Doege takes a deep shot, single coverage, and just out of the reach of Guyton. He was one-on-one with Brandon Williams and could not catch up to it.
Just barely overthrew that football. I had him last week, and he did not overthrow a single deep shot. And that's one of the things in terms of teaching that deep ball, that 50-50 ball. You want to give your guy a chance, especially the receivers that Bowling Green has. So they don't want you to overthrow that thing. They want it to be thrown 37 yards on the dot, which it was just about at that measurement, but a little too long for the receiver.
Doege 3rd and 10, a rush of 4, and Doege will shovel it away to Clare, who is hit a couple of yards shy of a first down. Ran right up to the line of scrimmage. Some improvisation for Doege, but he is 2 yards shy of a new set of downs.
He made a similar throw last week where he pitched the ball out while he was scrambling, and that tells you that his eyes are downfield, and it tells you he's got great peripheral vision to see the man out on the edge and then get it to him, but to no avail. They have to punt again.
It's Davidson, the All-America candidate, for his second punt. No chance to return this thing for Osborne. A fair catch inside his own 20-yard line. Another 41-yard kick, and again, no return. What a season it has been for this young man, the punter out of Findlay, Ohio. He has had more punts downed inside the 5. In fact, more punts down at the 1-yard line than he has touchbacks.
It's amazing. You know, when a few years back, they started changing how they drop the football and kick it with that backspin, and now it's a science, and these punters just keep getting better, and Davidson is outstanding. I mean, when you're dropping them down at the 1, you got it going on.
5 wide for Jackson. His pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. David Konowalski got a hand on it.
Nice play by Konowalski, and that's one of the ways to stop those RPOs, those quick passes out on the edge after a run fake. Your defensive ends have to be aware because they're often in that throwing lane. And Konowalski does a great job of recognizing that, getting his eyes to the quarterback, getting a hand up and knocking it away.
Redshirt junior from Milwaukee, 6'3", 241. They love his motor off the edge. Jackson will throw it inside here, reeled in. Beautiful hands by Holsey on a high pass. A first down, a gain of 12. Beg your pardon, 14.
That was an RPO right there as well, a run-pass option. Runs called in the huddle, and then they end up throwing a pass because the quarterback likes what he sees. You see the fake handoff? He makes this decision by watching the edge defender, and if that guy closes into the box, then he's going to let it fly. If that guy stays back, he'll hand it off.
Jackson with time to throw. Heaves one, and there is some contact before the ball got there, but no flag.
I'm amazed because there's no doubt that Montre Gregory ran into Jamal Island before the ball got there. I mean, you be the judge. It's pretty simple to me. And there's no doubt that that's pass interference, yet it wasn't called. And Buffalo in a huddle, which is a rare occasion for them.
Bulls team with back-to-back touchdown drives, a short one of 6, and then a drive of 80 to follow. Jackson will throw again. Another deep ball. His receiver has his step, and Johnson reels it in. He will score his second. 69 majestic yards.
How about this Tyree Jackson? I mean, unbelievable. Happy birthday, son. He's throwing this ball around the yard. Unbelievable. I mean, these are almost indefensible. Got so much air under it so that Johnson could just run under it. And Clint Stevens, who was up in a press, they're going to have to back off, because if they keep pressing these edge receivers, it's going to be a long night.
Anthony Johnson came into tonight's game averaging 99 yards per game. He is at 91. We are in the first quarter.
And if they I'll tell you what, the top has been taken off of this Bowling Green defense several times, and they are not going to be happy about that. Perry Eliano, the defensive coordinator, he's going to be talking to those guys, and they're going to back up. I mean, they've been pressing right now.
Well, Bowling Green's allowed more than 35 points per game. They have some holes, and Jackson has exploited them.
Well, you look at the throws he's made tonight. This one on the run, perfect ball, 50 yards plus in the air. He follows that up with another dime shot to Johnson, who takes it to the end zone. And then they said, okay, we have something here, and we're going to take our shots. And boom, they hit him again with another one, a perfectly thrown ball. And this Buffalo Bulls offense is off and running. Or throwing.
69 yards on that last throw from Jackson to Johnson. How nice it is to be a Buffalo Bull right now. 3 consecutive touchdown drives here in the first quarter. Falcons seem like they've been on kick return all game. And Bowling Green will start right about the same spot. Terrence Stevens taking it up near the 35.
And I don't think Bowling Green has to really get away from their game plan yet. I mean, they had one nice drive where Jarrett Dagey was 3 for 3 for 50 yards and threw the touchdown pass. They might tend to call some more passes, but they don't have to change things just yet. They do have to get together on defense and figure it out, because after the opening punt, you can see all them TDs up there.
Well, this is an excellent Buffalo team in the first quarter. They average more than 8 points per quarter in the first. They're at 21 tonight. Falcons are usually a little bit of a slower starter. Their points usually tend to come right around halftime and in the third quarter. And Miller for 70 years. Scott Miller with his first catch. Falcons 44 last Tuesday in the win over Kent State. So they could score. They're athletic on offense. Claire bounces it out after running into his own line, and Claire finds the edge for a first down. That's what he does so well.
Yeah, if the first hole isn't open, he'll bounce to the next one and the next and the next. He finally got the edge. He's that explosive. And the other thing he'll do is he has a stop-start move that is second to none. Yeah, he's explosive.
How do you defend him if you're a linebacker?
You try and hit him really hard and intimidate him is what I would do. Good luck with that, though. He's a hard guy to hit hard.
Easy to save him up here, right?
Yeah, and you know, the thing you have to do against a guy like that is play team defense. Keep your leverage. You can't try to be a hero and do things that you're not supposed to do. Stay home, play your technique, and don't worry if he's not there. He'll be there shortly.
Almost sounds a little like defending the option. Don't over-pursue. Be disciplined with the way he moves around.
Keep that leverage.
After the catch for Miller, it will be Claire up the middle here and thrown down by Damone Harris as we complete the first quarter. A must-win game for Buffalo, which needs 3 more wins for a bowl.
Number 32 of
The way they're playing so far, they're on their way to 1. 3 straight touchdown drives for the Bulls, who lead by 14. Told us when you're building a program, you need to figure out where you're deficient and address that. And this Buffalo team scored just 10 points in the first quarter all of last year. They've surpassed that by leaps and bounds this season.
Yeah, even just tonight, as a matter of fact. They've doubled it. And you know what? It's gratifying to a coach when you identify that deficiency, but then you got to do something about it, and they certainly have this season.
Bowling Green football from Buffalo territory. A 3rd and 3 begins this quarter. And Daigie, the quarterback, keeps the football and goes backwards. Jordan Collier with a hit behind the line, a loss of 3.
Great timing on the blitz from Collier. He snuck up to the edge late, and Bowling Green never identified him, and then he pursued from the backside and just runs the quarterback down, and Daigie never saw him. There's no question. He was running power read. He thought he was going to be able to pop it up the middle and got whacked from the blind side.
6 tackle for a loss for Collier this year, the transfer from UAB. Now some shuffling of the formation here for Bowling Green, which will still kick it away. You can get as fancy as you want. Davidson will still do that, pinning Buffalo down at the 9, punt of 37.
This Buffalo offense has been electric so far early in this game, and it really starts with the quarterback. And Tyree Jackson, 5 of 8, 156 yards, a pair of touchdowns. As you see the plays, and the Buffalo scored so fast, they don't need that many plays or time of possession. They've got long completions of 51, 21, and 69 so far in just that first quarter.
Anthony Johnson has been the star, no surprise. The leading receiver in the MAC, 3 catches, 91 yards, and 2 touchdowns already.
Bowling Green has gone to a cover 2, and they've got 2 safeties now, 15 yards off the ball and backpedaling at the snap. They do not want to get it thrown over their head again.
Darian Hutchins with a stop on Theo Anderson. Of course, it is a Tuesday night, second of the college football playoff rankings. The top 5 are the same. TCU moves into the top 6. Miami, Wisconsin right behind them. Oklahoma and TCU, Notre Dame and Miami playing this week, so we'll see some more shakeups in these rankings.
Yeah, I threw my hat in the ring with my top 6.
You got here, Ray.
Pretty much similar to what they have, a little bit of different order. And then I've got Wisconsin. I'm respecting the Badgers right now. They're undefeated. We'll find out this week when Iowa comes into Wisconsin, and that'll be a nice feather in their cap if they're able to win that game. And they still have, a Big Ten championship down the road. They play Michigan. They've got some opportunities to pad their resume.
Jackson was looking for a deep throw. Instead, he checks down, and he finds his tight end in the middle. That's Andrew Gray, the Maryland transfer, with just his 2nd catch of the season.
Yeah, Zach Lefebvre, their normal backup tight end, is out this week, and so that gives Gray some opportunities.
Quick tempo here for Buffalo, and the handoff to Theo Anderson.
That's Nate Locke, the linebacker, stepping into the hole and filling it quickly. And Locke played extremely well last week, and they love him. They say on and off the field, his walk is something to be admired, and he's a great leader for that Bowling Green team.
4-0 GPA kid. As Johnson is the target here. Right across the sticks, a first down.
Well, they backed up the corners. The problem is now the ball will come out very fast, and then Jeffrey's got to make an open field tackle on Johnson, and that's another iffy proposition.
And he's already at 100 yards, Ray, and just 4 catches. That's what they said they want to do, though. We've seen the deep shots, but they like to get him the ball quickly.
Yeah, they can get him the ball any which way, and that's what they want to do. They'll motion him into the backfield. They'll line him up in the slot. They'll put him at either outside position and find ways to get him the football.
JUCO transfer Johnson. Back to the ground game, and Reed, who could not quite find the edge. Ball is spun out late, and the Falcons look like they're on top of it.
That might well be a loose ball. I think he landed on top of the defender, Marcus Milton.
Milton punched it out.
Ruling on the
Milton
field
got
is
on
a fumble,
top.
recovered by the defense. First down, Bowling Green.
If it stands, it's the 14th fumble recovery for Bowling Green this year.
Yeah, leading the country, really. But, see, I think that's a fumble because he landed on top of Milton when he went down. And then the ball came out before he hits the ground. And then Milton, of course, hustles to get on top of it. But no part of his body had touched the ground, and that ball's out. That will be a...
The ruling of a fumble recovered by the defense is under further review.
I believe that play will stand, and Bowling Green will have another fumble recovery.
Well, you mentioned it. their prowess here at getting fumbles. They were one behind Utah State coming into tonight for the FBS lead. This, assuming it stands, will tie them. It's funny for Bowling Green. You look at the points allowed. They've allowed 35 per game, but they have 22 takeaways on the year if this stands.
Yeah, it's either take it away or give up points, and that's been an issue with them. And the other issue is they don't score enough points off of those turnovers. They're like 7th in the country in turnovers forced, but only 34th in points scored off the turnovers. There's a deficiency there. And I already made my case. To me, that's an easy call for our replay official, Mr. Dinas.
Milton had an interception last game. This would be his first forced fumble and fumble recovery of the year.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Bowling Green.
So the 22nd takeaway of the season for Bowling Green. It snaps Buffalo's streak of touchdown drives at 3, and the Falcons will get the ball in bowl territory.
A lot of teams, look at only 55 points off of those takeaways. That is a serious deficiency. They have to take advantage of those things much better, and they're going to go with a reverse to try to do so.
Yeah, Cleveland the reverse to the speedy
Fumble.
Miller. He lost the football.
It's right back to Buffalo. Looks like Jarrett Franklin jumped on top of it.
Punched out by Chuck Harris, and Bowling Green once again fails to convert a turnover into points.
Recovered by the defense. First down, Buffalo.
And they tried to get fancy. A lot of teams will take a shot or run some kind of trick play after a sudden change. That's exactly what they do. And Harris, he just manhandles Miller and knocks the ball loose. And they're right there to jump on it with Jarrett Franklin.
Well, that's 2 turnovers for Bowling Green in the game. They've now committed 21. They have 22 defensively, but the ball just pinballs back and forth in these games.
Yeah. Hot potato.
From its own 41, Buffalo has the ball. Jackson with a short fire to Tyler Mabry. Gain of a couple of yards to their leading receiver in terms of tight ends, Fred Garth, Bowling Green's leading tackler, with a stop.
Just a quick outside route, and that's in place of a run in this offense. And they'll do that. They'll throw the quick outs. They'll throw some lateral screens and other ways to really enhance the running game without handing it off.
They don't have a running back in right now after the Reed fumble. Motion Johnson, give to him. He flips back. Some trickery here. Jackson will throw it to Johnson, and it's over his head.
Little razzle-dazzle right there. And then Anthony Johnson, I mentioned they find ways to get him the ball. They pitch it to him, and then he hands it off, and then he runs the wheel route down the field, and they try to throw it back to him.
That was K.J. Osborne in between there. You said the phrase hot potato a moment ago?
Yeah, they were playing it again. Yeah. Actually, good discipline by Montre Gregory in staying with his guy, Anthony Johnson, on that play.
Johnson motioning into the slot right on this third down. Jackson looks his way, and Johnson will hang on to the football. Did he have the yardage?
I think
this spot is a little short.
Yeah, and it's right directly in front of me, so I have a wonderful angle of it, and he did not cross into the 49-yard line. And now Buffalo has a decision to make, and they're running out the punt team. You're up 14. Why not? You're playing
like
good
this
defense.
call?
I don't hate it. If I have a fake punt, I would consider that, though. But I have no problem with this decision with a 14-point lead in the way the game is going.
It is a punt. Kick from Deween will take a Buffalo roll inside the 10 and grabbed by Milton there.
Well, Milton probably saved him about 5-7 yards or so.
Bearded gentleman you're looking at right there, Seth Daigie. It's the last name we've been calling today. Not a first name, though. Seth, the older brother of Bowling Green's Jarrett, their true freshman quarterback. Seth, a terrific quarterback. Texas Tech fans remember him, a couple of outstanding years for the Red Raiders, now the wide receivers coach for his brother's team here at Bowling Green.
Yeah, Seth, 9 years older than Jarrett. And Jarrett was around the whole time he was there at Texas Tech, and he even knows some of the old signals. They still get flashing back and forth to each other.
Burst through the middle here for Claire. There is a flag thrown back near the line of scrimmage.
And that is generally holding on the offense.
Holding. Number 55, offense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
It's the center, Caleb Wright. For Jarrett, he's just a true freshman starting, but the coaches talk about how advanced he is. How much of that is from being around his brother?
Most of it. And his father was also a high school coach in Texas, and he was immersed in the football his entire life. And he's a really bright kid. And that's why he's so far ahead for being a true freshman in terms of running the progressions in the offense and understanding those different things.
Claire again, trying to find some space, and he has nothing. Interior of that line has played very well today. Matt Otwanowski, the linebacker, came up for the tackle.
Jarrett Franklin helped that play, getting some penetration. And he's an interesting ball player for this football team as well. He wears number 41 in honor of Solomon Jackson, who passed away in 2016 after a winter workout with the Bulls football team. And each year they decide who gets to wear that jersey, and the family gets involved. And Jarrett Franklin has that honor this season.
Starting linebacker right now. Franklin pushed by an offensive lineman near the end of that play. It'll be a third down and long. I think what you said there is really nice, that Solomon's family, his parents, really get to have the final approval on that. Lance Leipold said, yeah, we have a suggestion, but it's really their call in the end, and they love this kid, Jarrett Franklin. A couple of years ago when Leipold came in, Jarrett had back surgery, and the doctors cleared him to play halfway through the year. Lance asked if he wanted to redshirt, and Jarrett said, if I could, I would, because I see what's happening with the young players here, and I want to be a part of the future. Nice closing play here at a third down. Brandon Williams. Excellent coverage, and Bowling Green will punt.
Yeah, he actually, that's a suplex move. I don't know if that's legal, but it's a nice wrestling technique. Pick a guy up, slam him over your shoulder onto his back.
As somebody's ready for the Ric Flair 30 for 30.
Maybe they got a preview on that thing. And here's your suplex right there. That's how that goes.
Well, Buffalo chose to punt on 4th and 1 from midfield. It looks like the Bulls.
Dogs at home yet again for the second straight week.
Well, you know, these Miami players are relishing this moment. I was at the game last week, and at the end of it, linebacker Shaquille Quarterman was shouting, "Nobody believed we could win this game." And then in his post-game comments, he said, "It's an us against the world mentality. Nobody wants to see us succeed. Nobody wants Miami to win. And we're going to do everything that we can to prove these people."
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Sam Adams. Fill your glass. And Esurance, auto and home insurance for the modern world.
Explosive night for the Buffalo Bulls, needing to win out to become eligible for a bowl game. They have Ball State on the road next week, then they host Ohio after that. Their offense has been clicking tonight. 3 touchdown drives and 3 plays of 20-plus yards through the air.
Yeah, it's been a unbelievable start for the birthday boy, Tyree Jackson. He has been really special tonight. And you see the remaining games for the Bulls. They'll be a prohibitive favorite against Ball State. Ohio, not so much, as they're one of the top teams, and they are the top team in the East Division right now, tied with Akron at 4-1.
Big game for Ohio coming up with Toledo tomorrow, but that Frank Solich coach team, one of the top threats in the MAC as always. Bulls hoping to get to their 3rd bowl game in program history, and their first under Lance Leipold. First carry for Emmanuel Reed after his fumble, and he gains 4.
the Bowling Green defense has changed the way they're playing in the secondary. They're a little gun shy right now, and they have backed off a little bit. I'm seeing more zone, some cover two. They don't want that ball thrown over their head again.
How does Jackson exploit that?
Well, he's still getting pressed occasionally, like he's got it at the top of the screen here, and they may be talking about that right now and take a shot down the field because they have that, because they haven't been getting it.
It's Kamani Holsey at the top of the screen with the pressure. Jackson instead over the middle. That was a brilliant decision. First catch for Jacob Martinez. Middle of the field wide open. UB takes advantage for 30.
And Tyree Jackson sees the blitz coming and knows he's got a hot receiver out to his right. That's where he zips the slant in, and that's just a great move from the slot by Jacob Martinez, crossing the face and getting open.
And right back to Martinez, who drags a Falcon across the 20 into the red zone. 8 yards on 1st and 10.
And that's another product of having the defensive backs from Bowling Green back off. Now you can run your quick screens to the edge.
Jackson with a shoulder fake. Firing for the end zone. A high pass off the head of Mabry.
And it looks to me like Mabry should have gone up with both hands that high. He tried to one-hand it. It was a little bit tall of a throw because Jackson had to get it over the linebacker. Nice underneath drop there by number 11, Aaron Banks, really taking that play away, though it could have been caught.
Took the shot on 2nd and short.
Here comes that sugar huddle.
One.
That sugar huddle they like to run.
Powered up the middle for Reed, who is slammed. Depends on the spot. Doesn't look like he has enough. Brandon Harris, who's had a terrific year, the junior out of East Cleveland, closed the hole.
Well, Bowling Green has seen this on film because Buffalo's run it throughout the course of the season. They'll run this, what they call a sugar huddle. They hurry up, line up quick, and they try to really get tempo out of that. Well, they got tempoed right in the face by a nice fill from the linebacker. Brandon Harris, he said, nah, you're not going to fool me on that.
Here's that sugar huddle again. 4th down, back to Reed. And he looks to have enough. Couple of yards, 1st down, Buffalo.
And Jake Molinich, the number 48, the backup tight end and also the fullback in those situations, he got the key block to open things up.
Why is that so hard to defend, that quick huddle, that sugar huddle?
Well, they come out, they've got different personnel. They bring in an extra offensive lineman to play tight end. They got another 2 tight ends in there as well. And then you've got an unbalanced line, and it's just hard to get your bearings. Where do we set our front? Off of what? And by the time you figure that out, they've already snapped the football.
Reed again trying to jet around the edge with a flag thrown. Reed is inside the 5, but there are 3 flags right now. This may not stand, and it will not.
Holding. Number 65, offense. 10 yards. Replay, 1st down.
Tomas Jack Curdila, the sophomore right guard from Montreal.
And he's just going to see the right guard there. And he's just working outside on the 3 technique, and he's trying to hook him. And unfortunately, he hooked him real good around the shoulders and then threw him to the ground. That's a pretty easy call.
Gus Schwederman was dragged to the ground. Jackson off the right hand of Johnson. This is something that offensive coordinator Andy Kotelnicki talked about us with, where Johnson is being self-critical. Sometimes he needs to go up with 2 hands. Is this one of those spots?
I think it is. And this is a tough little hole. I think the ball's overthrown. I don't know that he would have got it anyway. But you try and fit that ball between the safety and the corner. I know John Gruden calls it the turkey hole. And that time it was just a little bit overthrown.
Yeah, we all learned that new term yesterday, just in time for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, missed the turnover while we were at it, but hey.
Here's Martinez back near the original line of scrimmage. 3rd catch of the drive for Jacob.
I love the way Tyree Jackson is using the whole field, and he's getting it to a bunch of different guys, spreading it out. He's in total command. You know, it's hard to fathom the improvement he made after sitting down for 4 weeks with that bad knee. But watching the tape before and then watching him now, He's made incredible strides.
Lance Leipold said he's maturing into the quarterback we thought he could be. Only a redshirt sophomore from Norton Shores, Michigan.
Mona Shores High School, that's near my hometown.
Here's Reed on the swing on 3rd and 11. And Emmanuel Reed out of the flats. Looks to have enough for a Buffalo first down. 1st and goal coming up for the Bulls.
Get a nice block by the left tackle, Kazarzak, on this one. Watch the left tackle and his ability to now leave and then out in space, block a little guy. I mean, those little guys, they hate to see the big ones coming like that. A lot of times you can shake them, but not Kazarzak on that one.
6'6", 315, Kazarzak, local product out of West Seneca. Reed down to the 2. Set up 2nd and goal as we move toward the 4-minute mark here in this quarter.
And they like to run Reed out of the pistol formation. I don't know for sure, but I bet that he was an I-back in high school because he has such a great feel when they get him back there, that running the downhill and making the cut and exploding outside, the various things you do from that position. They got him there again.
Sophomore to Crestview, Florida will take it. Reed toward the goal line.
He lost it.
Bowling Green thinks it's picked up, another turnover. Falcons have the football.
How about the Bowling Green defense?
It was Gus Schwederman to recover, and it is officially a fumble, and Bowling Green
Ruling on the field is
stands.
a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Bowling Green.
And it was Brandon Harris who knocked the ball
Timeout
out,
on the field.
and it landed right in the lap of Schwederman.
So
Wow.
a huge takeaway.
Please
Wow.
reset the game clock to 3 minutes.
Bowling Green football,
48
we
seconds.
return.
3.
Yet another takeaway for the Bowling Green defense. Gus Schwederman gets the championship belt. He recovers a fumble forced by Brandon Harris. And Bowling Green has the football at its own 2-yard line. 23rd takeaway for the Falcons this season. They moved up to 2nd in the country. Jarrett Diggy out of his own end zone. Incomplete diving try here for Scott Miller. Falcons are no stranger not only to takeaways, but they are no stranger to big takeaways up against their own goal line. October 7th, up by 1 point in the closing minutes against Miami, Ohio. A bot snap, and it was Harris who forced out the fumble you just saw live, recovering this fumble for a 93-yard return, and the first Bowling Green win of the year was sealed. Out of the end zone, Andrew Clare darting his way and dancing down to the 19.
And he got a nice block from his big tight end, Hunter Folkertsma, and then it was all Clare. And what amazes me is his vision, how he saw this last guy that he makes the cutoff. There's the block by Folkertsma, but how he saw that last guy out of his peripheral vision, I don't know. It's almost like he's got rear view mirrors or something.
4 straight 100-yard games for the true freshman from St. Louis. Dagey with a completion over the middle. Big hit applied at the end by Kobe Green on Miller, but a catch of 20 yards for a Falcon first.
Nice little zone beater there. He hit a guy in between the 2 linebackers and in front of the safeties. Well read and well thrown by Jarrett Dagey.
23 straight games with a catch for Miller. First team All-MAC receiver last year. Back on the ground, and Clare, who has been the more heavily involved of the 2 backs with a couple of yards.
And, yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of Cleveland tonight. It's been mostly Clare, and that's what the coaches told us. They feel like he's at that point where he's a little more mature, and they think he can handle more of a load, and that's what he's getting thus far.
Over 1,000 all-purpose yards on the season. Dagey's got to get rid of this football quickly. He does, just in time. It was Guyton over the middle as the pocket collapsed from behind him and in front.
Yeah, Damone Harris had great pressure on a speed rush around the edge, but I just love Dagey's composure. He felt that pressure, stepped up into the pocket, and let it go before he got whacked. That's a knack that he has. He's got a great internal clock.
3rd and 4 for Bowling Green. Dagey's pass reeled in by Morris. A touchdown recipient from earlier with a gain of 8.
And there's another example of Jarret Doege understanding the offense, knowing what they needed for the first down, and where is that guy that's going to get it for me. They ran Morris on a quick out from the slot. Boom, boom, move the chains.
Cleveland back in as the running back, under 2 to play in the half. Doege feeds Miller again. He has a first down grab, his second of the drive. Got covered by Gaddafi Wright, who's a tall, wiry player, but a linebacker, and that's a good matchup for the speedy Miller.
No doubt, and that's why they put Miller in the slot, so that he gets those type matchups, and that's Doege recognizes that immediately. And I think Bowling Green needs to keep this up, throw the football, and then mix the run in.
Doege takes his shot, and he overshot his receiver.
He knew it, too. He was all upset with himself because he had 6 points right there with Guyton running down the field. A good couple, 3-4 yards behind the Buffalo defense, and Doege just overshot it, and he was upset, as you can tell.
Had hit 8 of his last 9 passes before that overthrow. First true freshman to start at quarterback for Bowling Green in 35 years. Returned last week after hurting his back earlier in the year, catching a pass.
Yeah, against Akron, they got razzle-dazzle on him and ran a throwback, and he got whacked. And he still gained 20 yards after he got hit.
And how about this throw and catch? There is a flag down near the line of scrimmage. It was T.O. Redding on a spectacular throw from Doege under pressure. We'll see if it stands.
And that's a nice toss to the outside, and he's got it to me now. He's holding on to that football.
Number 14, defense lined up in the neutral zone. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is second down.
Well, T.O. Redding has been making a habit of
He's
this
special.
spectacular catches in game after game, and that's just his first one.
He made one last week we're going to show you right now, which it got called back because of a holding in the offense, but here's your one-hand stab of the day. I mean, this is just sick. Those are the kind of plays that Redding is capable of, and Jarret Doege's well aware of that, and he's going to look for his guy, especially in this area of the field.
So 3rd and a yard, the back, Cleveland takes it and runs for the first down. Cleveland almost out of bounds, and look at this. On the sideline, Cleveland a hard hit from Tim Roberts. I think it was Cleveland applying the hit to Roberts first before Roberts wrestled them down.
Yeah, and then Cleveland limped off afterwards. But these guys are going at it. Slack misses them, and then it's on. But Cleveland's out of the ballgame. They're going to have to take a look at him.
Andrew Clare returns. Minute and 28 here in this first half, and the Falcons trying to cut this to a one-score game.
They like the tight end in this area of the field.
Doege will just flip it out of the flats to Redding. Slipped away from one tackle. Couldn't get free from Kobe Green, the freshman free safety.
And Doege was looking for his tight end, Hunter Folkertsma, who ran a little inside route, and it just wasn't there. He had to come off of it and find another guy, which he did. And give credit to Doege. I mean, you talk about going through progressions. He's very good at that.
Folkertsma and Hunter Scatabo, the 2 tight ends to the right of the line here. Falcons still with 3 timeouts, being patient. The play fake. Doege, end zone. Incomplete with the flag. It was Green, the true freshman, in coverage on Redding.
And it looked to me like Green had his left hand on the receiver, and that's where they're going to get him.
Pass interference. Number 2, defense. 15-yard penalty. Ball will be placed at the...
Well, still waiting to figure out where they're going to place it, but...
Correction. Ball will be placed at the 2-yard line, first down.
I don't know. And looking at it again, that left hand was on the hip, but I don't believe it affected the play that much. Tough call for Green. And Bowling Green trying to milk this clock as much as they can. They don't want to get Tyree Jackson back on the field with any kind of time, but they still want to punch this thing in.
You try to run it here on first down?
Yeah, sidecar I, run the ISO, and go jam it in there.
Instead, it's a little flip out on the fade, and it's knocked away by Brandon Williams in coverage with Guyton. You like that call?
Nah, I don't mind it. It's a first down, so everyone's thinking run, especially me, and you try your fade out to a big receiver. No real problem with the call, but to me, you run this thing in. But they've had trouble with that, and that's been an issue for Bowling Green, scoring touchdowns when they get down in this area, what they call the tight red zone.
Claire this time, he will heed the call and score a Bowling Green touchdown.
He made an incredible move. There was penetration from Miles Nicholas, who got across the face of the blocker, and Claire saw it, and he bounces it outside the penetration. Great vision, and then the ability to find it and finish it. Hodge hit him, but not soon enough.
So remember, this drive started all the way back at Bowling Green's 2-yard line after the turnover, and the Falcons marched 98 yards down the field to make this a one-score game. Andrew Clare with his 4th touchdown run of this season. Buffalo was all set. It looked like to punch in a touchdown for a 3-score lead. Bowling Green gets a fumble, and the Falcons march 98 yards as the freshman Andrew Clare finishes it off. One of the best drives of the season for Mike Jink's crew, which is looking for a 2nd straight win.
And more importantly, a 14-point swing. I mean, they could have been out of this thing. Now it's a one-score game, and look at Andrew Clare. I mean, he's been hit. He's got 12 carries tonight already, and he wants more. He says, feed me. 12 for 49 yards and a touchdown and 1 catch.
It'll be Nick Fields to kick it away for Bowling Green. And this is a high, short kick. It'll be Buffalo football. The Bulls at their own 35 with 33 seconds to go in the half. Well, some big college football games for you this weekend. This, of course, just the start of the college football week, but Saturday afternoon, 4th-ranked Clemson takes on Florida State at 3:30 Eastern. Then it's Starkville, number 2, Alabama, and Mississippi State. Both games streaming live on the ESPN app as well. Crimson tied number 2 in both editions of this year's college football playoff rankings, and a 1-game lead over Auburn with the Iron Bowl in a couple of weeks. How about this stretch for Auburn? They have Georgia this week, then Alabama in a few.
They can make their own ticket right there.
Sure can. Number 10 right now in the playoff rankings, Auburn. With the SEC continuing to be a top-heavy league, 3 teams in the top 10. This run might never end. This might take us to the half.
This is a scrum.
Theo Anderson for a gain of 9. And Buffalo is in no particular hurry to run another play.
Yeah, they don't have to if they don't want to. And the body language tells me they're done for the half.
Well, Buffalo will get the football to begin the second half. Bulls could have been up 28-7 had they converted on a goal-to-go situation. Instead, Bowling Green forces a turnover, and the Falcons have made this a 7-point game. Great first half, though, for Tyree Jackson, who looks as healthy as he's been.
Yeah, he was outstanding. That one drive when he threw that 61-yarder down the field, nothing short of amazing, and they're going to need him to do more of that in the second half.
21-14 lead for Buffalo. The Bulls have to win this game and their next 2 to be bowl eligible. Bowling Green is trying to play spoiler. 21-14, Bulls lead the Falcons. Here at the half on ESPNU. Up next, it's our halftime report. Welcome back to UB Stadium. They're in Buffalo, New York. The hometown Bulls need to win out to become bowl eligible. They're on top right now, but only by 7 over Bowling Green, 21-14 with former Buffalo Bill Ray Bentley. I'm Kevin Brown. It was going to be, we thought, a 3-score lead for Buffalo. The Bulls with a late turnover, and Bowling Green drove down the field for a score. We'll get to that at the end of our first half highlights. The standout in the first half for the Bulls, the quarterback, Tyree Jackson.
Yeah, him and the receiver Anthony Johnson hooked up several times, including a deep one here for the 6 points. Jackson 3 of 5 on the deep balls, and incredible arm strength displayed, and led the Bulls to a nice lead, and they were right down here to pad it to 3 scores, lost the fumble. Schmiederman picks it up, and then Bowling Green goes on a game-saving, at least first-half saving, 98-yard drive, and they punch it in with the touchdown from Claire, and now it's just a 7-point ball game. That was, I can't even tell you, that 14-point swing, how huge that was for Bowling Green.
First half stats, Buffalo has been the better team through the air. Bowling Green on the ground. Claire 49 yards, just about halfway to 100 already, and the turnovers an issue for both sides. Now, we found out at the half, Anthony Johnson, who caught 2 touchdown passes for Buffalo and hurt his elbow, is questionable to return. Ohio game will be tough, but you have to get there 5 and 6 first and foremost. KJ Osborne from inside his own 5 as we begin the second half, and Osborne wrestled down across the 20-yard line. Time for tonight's What to Watch For, brought to you by Taco Bell. Well, this is a Tuesday night for some action. More action coming this week. Tomorrow night, it's a good one between Toledo and Ohio. A lot of folks know about Logan Woodside, the skill he has, but Nathan Rourke, an excellent dual threat. 6 total touchdowns the last game for the Bobcats.
Yeah, and 16 rushing touchdowns on the year, 13 throwing. That kid's got almost 30 touchdowns with a few weeks left to go in the season. So that's going to be a great football game.
Toledo's only loss this season to Miami, who has lost to no one.
That would be the Miami Hurricanes, not
that's a good point.
The Red Hawks.
Thank you for the confirmation on that. Miami, Florida, as Jackson hits his first pass. KJ Osborne for 13 to begin the second half. What were your impressions of Tyree Jackson in half number 1?
I thought he was outstanding. The way he threw the football, the arm strength he displayed, the way he spread it out, and he didn't have to run. He's actually, since he was injured his knee and missed 4 games, he's reinvented himself now as a pocket quarterback. And a pocket quarterback who's a dual threat guy too, that's pretty good.
The running back here is Theo Anderson, who delivers a blow to one of the safeties and spins away. Anderson ran through Fred Garth, bounced off him, and ends up deep in Bowling Green territory. 26 yards.
And you got to wonder if Anderson's in there because Reed fumbled twice in the first half, or if it's because he makes runs like this. I prefer to believe the latter because this is an outstanding play. Now, Fred Garth was trying to rip the ball out and forgot to make the tackle first.
Anderson, their power back, will stay in from the Bowling Green 39. Right back to him, and he drives his legs forward again. Some tough running inside for a couple.
Still no sign of Anthony Johnson for the Bulls. And they're going to miss him, but they've got some other guys that can make plays. There's no question about that.
Who becomes the key to this offense now, in your opinion, with Johnson out, in terms of the pass catchers?
Yeah, to me, I'm going to go and say that Martinez has to make some plays, and also Holsey. Those are the 2 guys that need to step up. Martinez had 3 grabs in the first half, so he's on it.
Jackson taking a shot for Osborne. KJ Osborne. Touchdown, Buffalo.
Yeah, Osborne has to step up, too. He won't wait. He just did. What a throw again from Jackson, though. I mean, this is a beautiful throw as you can make down the sideline, right on target. The receiver doesn't have to break stride whatsoever. And again, they get behind this Bowling Green defense. And Bowling Green, it happened to them early, and now it happens again late. And this was a zone. They're in cover 2, and Fred Garth just got there late.
Jackson has already thrown for 295 yards He set a career high last week with 313. 3 touchdown chucks for this young man.
Yeah, and this is just another beautiful throw from Jackson. And Buffalo comes out in the second half, firing away, 28-14.
We're just wondering which wide receiver would have to step up in the absence of Anthony Johnson. KJ Osborne, the redshirt sophomore from Ypsilanti, he took the bell. 37-yard touchdown catch from Tyree Jackson.
Yeah, it's cover 2, so he gets by. And we talked about the turkey hole earlier, and this is a great shot into the turkey hole for a touchdown. Cover 2. In between the safety and the corner.
Short kickoff here and a good run back for Stevens. Terrence Stevens for Bowling Green. Out across the 40 and 2 late flags. A couple of Bowling Green players were locked up with one of the Bulls. It was Tim Roberts of Buffalo.
He was on the wrong sideline to be talking what he was talking, and Bowling Green, they responded.
Quentin Morris was involved for Bowling Green. Our referee is Ron Hudson. We'll hear from him.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 22 of the kicking team. 15 yards in force from the end of the run. First down.
It is Roberts, who is a terrific kid, and they love him. A JUCO transfer from Fullerton College, but not the sort of penalty you can afford after a touchdown, and it will put the football in Buffalo territory.
Yeah, he was the MAC Defensive Player of the Week. Last week was Tim Roberts. Had 6 tackles, an interception, and a tackle for a loss, but that one's going to go against him. And he's nominated for a nice award, the Campbell.
Essentially the academic Heisman, yeah. Wants to go into nursing, 3.68 GPA. Try to erase that last play from his memory. Here's a little flip to T.O. Redding from Jarrett Dagey. And a nice run after technically the catch for 9 yards.
Right, that'll go down as a catch and a passing play because he flipped it forward, which is a smart thing to do because if the guy drops it, it's an incomplete and you don't have to worry about that fumble.
Redshirt senior from Warren, Michigan, has really worked on his body this year, become their number 1 wide receiver. Broke out in the Miami, Ohio game with 197 yards and a couple of touchdowns. On second and short, Dagey looked like he might take a shot. Instead, dumps it off to Clare, who was tackled low by Franklin. Has it up for a first down.
Shows you again the composure and poise of Jarrett Dagey. Had the pressure on him, and once again scrambles with his eyes down the field and is able to make a play when nothing's there. And, you know, he's not a dynamic runner, but he's an excellent scrambler, and he knows the pocket, has a great feel for that as well.
You've seen 6+ quarters now, the true freshman Dagey last week in this. Where do you think his biggest strength lies?
I think it's mentally, his ability to get into the right play, read the progressions, make good decisions, and in the close second is his deep pass, his deep ball.
Dagey trying to set up the screen, and he just chucks it into the ground.
Yeah, he had some serious pressure on him in the form of Chuck Harris, and trying to set up the screen.
There is no foul for intentional grounding. Number 45 was in the area.
In his last 2 games, Jarrett Dagey's gotten called for intentional grounding. In fact, the coach has joked with us, we have to teach him that rule a little better. Apparently he learned. He got away with one there.
Donovan Wilson was the receiver in the area. So it'll be second down and 10, no flag. Big pressure from Buffalo here, and Dagey finds his soft spot to Miller. Good for a first down, right at the edge of the red zone.
Buffalo blitzed their linebacker Khalil Hodge, and Dagey was able to handle that and still get the pass out. And he had great patience in this one. He knew he had a crosser coming late, and Hodge will hit him, but he still hangs in there and makes the throw.
Clare trying to cut back inside, and a good first down run of 6. Well, Buffalo told us they don't love to blitz. They did get to Dagey there, and it shows you the advanced play. Not a lot of true freshmen, I think, would hang in against that kind of pressure.
Yeah, and we talked to Brian Borland, the defensive coordinator for Buffalo, and he said he doesn't really blitz just situationally. Well, I believe my eyes more than what people tell me. and they blitz a lot, and they have brought it tonight throughout. A lot of them come from off.
2nd and 2 after a very good spot. Redding trying to make another one-handed grab, and he had no shot there. Brandon Williams in coverage.
Yeah, Williams was right in his grill, and this it really forced the throw to be a little bit longer because Doege wasn't going to take a chance on an interception. And he's looking at it the whole way, lets it go, throws it up there where his guy only can get it if anybody can. And Redding tried to go up, make that one-hander again. I think you need to go up with 2 if you can, big fella.
Claire on a 3rd down run will plow his way across the 10 for a first down.
They caught Buffalo in a blitz on that particular play. Khalil Hodge, he totally ran out of the hole and crossed into a gap farther away, and that allowed the thing to open up.
Well, Bowling Green wanted to get Claire more involved. Only 8 carries last week, and they certainly have had him more involved. 14 carries, 60 yards, and a score tonight. Josh Cleveland, who was banged up in the first half, only with 4.
Pop.
Here's the flip to the tight end. It's incomplete. Folkertsma had it in his hands. Ryan Williamson was there to defend, and the redshirt senior could not reel it in.
That's a great football play coming over there by Williamson to get the hit, although Folkertsma still has to catch this ball. This has become a real popular play in college football, making a comeback. Used to be a big play in the veer option offenses where you run so much that you release that tight end down there and no one pays attention. But Folkertsma should have had that one.
2nd and goal for Bowling Green. Doege with a flip to Redding. Touchdown.
It makes a big difference when you go up with 2 hands. Very similar to the previous play against Brandon Williams. And this time, the big difference was the better body position and the quicker jump by Redding so he can high point the football, and then he uses both hands.
Nine yards on the flip. Redding's 5th touchdown of the season. And Doege's stat line is looking pretty similar to last week. 2 touchdowns and no interceptions for the true freshman out of Lubbock, Texas. These teams have traded volleys here in the second half. Opening touchdown for Buffalo. Doege and Bowling Green strike back.
On a nice little fade play, throw it to the corner, let your guy jump up, and Teal Redding makes you look good.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Sonic's Car Hop Classic. Pair a foot-long coney or a cheeseburger with onion rings for $2.99.
Mr. Leipold, tear down those stands.
And he did.
Buffalo Bulls and the head coach Lance Leipold in his 3rd year breaking ground on what will be a new football building, the Murchie Family Fieldhouse, part of Lance Leipold's efforts, is what he says is the work of a CEO / general manager, not just head coach, to get some new facilities and some money into this program.
And they have been practicing indoors. They go down to Orchard Park and go into the Bills facility, and it's really a pain because they got kids that are in classes. You got to bus everybody up there and back. But he did say Sean McDermott with the Bills has been really good with them and letting them use that facility while they wait for theirs to get built.
3rd-year head coach, one of the great Division III coaches we've ever seen. 6 national titles in 8 years at Wisconsin Whitewater in his 3rd year here at Buffalo. Trying to get the Bulls to a bowl. KJ Osborne with a touchdown last drive, trying to get to the 20, and he will not. A little bit shy and a well-covered return. Well, for Buffalo, big question coming out of the locker room was, would Anthony Johnson return? Our answer is yes, at least to the field. Elbow injury, and he's currently riding the exercise bike. Hopefully for the Bulls, he can get back into the game.
And you see they padded up the elbow. I'm surprised it's not taped up. That's probably a good sign, although there's likely tape under the pad. But will he get back in the game? That's the question.
995 receiving yards on the year, 5 shy of being the 4th player in UB history with 1,000 in a season. Redshirt junior, transfer from Iowa Western Community College, previously Butler Community College. Tyree Jackson, another home run ball on first down, and this is incomplete. It was Osborne who had the touchdown to end the previous drive.
This is another really nice throw from Tyree Jackson, and Jeffries is beat again, but just maybe an inch long or so. Although I think when a receiver gets a hand on a ball, then you probably ought to catch it, and you probably ought to try to get two hands on it while you're at it.
It's a Bowling Green defense that is 10th in the MAC in terms of pass yards allowed per game. 11th in points per game allowed, 35.3. They have struggled tonight. Anderson with a nifty cut inside. He nearly broke it. Still enough for a first down. 11 yards for number 11.
And Anderson's done a really nice job of coming in and taking over the running back spot after Emmanuel Reed fumbled twice in the first half. I don't think we haven't seen Reed back yet. 6 carries, 52 yards right now for Theo Anderson, filling in where it needs to be filled in.
It's a Buffalo team without Jonathan Hawkins at starting running back since the third game of the year. Reed has been the main guy, not in this half. Martinez on the grab. Another first down for Buffalo. This one across the 40.
And they've put Martinez into that Anthony Johnson role. They had him motion all the way across, so when he did run that route, he had a little bit of a head of steam going already. That forced the corner to bail, and it allowed Jackson to get the ball out quick and complete it.
Came in with 13 catches on the year, Ray. 4 tonight for Martinez, 59 yards. Dependable redshirt senior out of Southport, Florida. This one is incomplete, low throw. And Kamani Holsey could not hang on. Bulls have gone, by the way, to their third string running back right now. That's the redshirt freshman Cameron Pickett, who is in the game. Still no sign of Reed. He lost both of those fumbles in the first half.
I'm looking in the doghouse, and I think I see him because you fumble once, and that's bad enough, but he did twice, in particular, down on the 2-yard line, and then Bowling Green responded with a 98-yard drive. That'll keep you in the doghouse.
Play fake to Pickett, and a whole lot of pressure. Jackson gets away from it and heaves it down the field into tight coverage.
Ill-advised throw, and I think it looked like it was picked by Montre Gregory.
Bowling Green seems to think it has an interception. We've had no official call as of yet. Well, the ball's going to be spotted right back at the line.
An incomplete pass.
I know that Gregory had it momentarily, and then the ball came out. The question, it's the same as a receiver. If you catch a football and it's an interception, you still have to meet those requirements of maintaining possession of the ball when you go to the ground.
Osborne essentially played defensive back there, trying to wrest the ball away.
Yeah, he's got it, though. They might want to look at that one because and there's a flag
Substitution
down.
infraction. 12 men in the huddle, number 84 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
It'll be third down, actually, 3rd and 15. One more look at this play.
To me, the foot was in bounds. He's got the ball, almost a dual possession type thing, but he came out with the football. I'm surprised that they're not looking at that and at least, reviewing it.
Well, good news for Buffalo. They have the ball. Better news, Anthony Johnson is back in, motioning into the slot left. Jackson over the middle. That's complete across midfield, and enough for a first down for Holsey. Needed 15, and the Bulls get 16.
And Anthony Johnson, he comes back in, and now he's a decoy. When he runs this wheel route on the outside, you're going to see both of the Bowling Green defenders are going to go to him, and that leaves the defender inside. See, both those guys drifting wide because Anthony Johnson's over there, and they let the other guy come right in over the middle and a wide-open throw. Nice use of the decoy and understanding where it's going to be open by Tyree Jackson.
Anderson back to the ground game. And Buffalo likes to get Johnson 10 to 15 targets a game. How important is that, though, not only to target him, but to use him as a decoy?
Well, I think that's why he's back in right now, because he's going to be effective at least as a decoy, and it's built into their system. They know that other teams see, hey, they're going after this guy an awful lot. We got to bend our coverage towards him. Maybe we got to bracket him, double team him, press him, put somebody over the top. You do all those things to take him away, but it usually takes two guys. So now other people will be open. So his presence is vital.
There he goes around Montre Gregory. Jackson gives him a shot, and Johnson hauls it in.
What elbow problem?
Like he never left.
He's outstanding. And the way he finishes is the most remarkable thing to me. His ability to use his body to get in the best position. Because right now, I mean, he has no separation. It's not like he beat somebody running past him, but he just has the wherewithal to find the football at the end of the play.
A loss of 2 for Jackson. Nico Lautinen in on that stop. On the last play, though, Johnson went over 1,000 yards. And Jackson has a career-high throwing the ball. 350 through the air, 18 for 27. You look at the numbers for Johnson, who redshirted last year, had to finish some classes in summer school, was banged up a bit in fall camp. The coaching staff made the decision to give him the full year to learn the playbook, to rest up. They're happy with that decision, to say the least.
And they will be when they get him back next year for sure also.
Another catch for Johnson out of bounds at the 15. 3rd down and 6 coming up.
And they are totally backing off of Johnson now. I mean, they had the press on the previous long play. They back off, and then they put someone over the top.
Tempo here. Jackson for Johnson. Corner of the end zone. And incomplete.
Lost it just at the end. But they did. Jeffries came up and tried to press him again. And I'm telling you, every time Tyree Jackson sees that, he's gonna test it. He's gonna go over there. They're gonna run a go route, and they're gonna throw it.
Ruling on the field
to
is
Johnson.
incomplete pass.
And you'll see at the end, this ball will kind of come out. And when you go to the ground, you have to complete the catch with possession of the ball. Thanks to Calvin Johnson.
Anthony did not fall victim to the Calvin rule there. That was clearly incomplete. A field goal try, but first an official discussion.
The ruling on the field is that the receiver did not maintain control of the ball as he went to the ground, therefore incomplete pass. The ruling is under further review.
They're going to take a look at it, but my understanding of the rule, when you go to the ground at the end, you have to come up with the football. Now, he catches it. He's got it. He's got a foot in. And in the old days, that's a touchdown. But he didn't quite secure it all the way, and then it comes out, slips out at the end. You saw the ball slide a little bit in his hand, and that's
After
why
review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Incomplete pass, 4th down.
that's why it was confirmed. So Buffalo will bring the kicker out.
This is not a strength of theirs.
No.
Adam Mitchison, a third-year starter, but he is just 11 out of 18 this year.
And he's missed a couple of potential game winners late, and 2 of their 1-point losses. And those make you lose confidence. Not only the kicker lose confidence, but the coach losing confidence in the kicker.
Hold your mittens. We are good to go. Quick word from the sideline. This will be 32 yards on the attempt for Mitchison. Jeremiah Reardon will snap. Kyle DeWeen to hold. Mitchison. No. Missed it to the right.
Yeah, wide right's a familiar thing around here, unfortunately. I know from experience, dude.
We'll come back and wipe Ray's tears away when we return. Look at Lance Leipold, the head coach of the Buffalo Bulls. We've got a real-life Buffalo Bill here in the booth with us, though, folks. Ray Bentley sporting much worse hair than he has today. 7 seasons in the NFL, 86-91 right here in Buffalo. You were the precursor to Maction before that, though, my friend.
Yeah, I'd love to tell you I invented it, but...
So tell us. Nobody will fact check you.
All right, I invented it back in the day. But yeah, I loved my time both with the Bills and Central Michigan, and I wouldn't change a thing if I could.
Incomplete pass for Doege. You played here, you coached here in the Arena League as well. What is the character like of the city for folks that haven't been to Buffalo? What makes Buffalo Buffalo?
It's blue collar. It's real people, friendly, and God, they love their football around here. I can tell you that firsthand. And we had, I got to tell you, the most wonderful experience. Those glory years in the early '90s with the Bills. That'd be nothing like it again. I can't imagine anyone else having that kind of run.
Doege got hit up high and ripped down. Devon Harris with his team-leading 4th sack of the season.
And Harris, he's been effective all night coming around the edge, and he does it again. This is really a bull rush. He just takes the offensive tackle, Austin Labus, and deposits him back in the quarterback's lap, and then with that long arm span, the wingspan he has, reaches out and makes himself a sack. Both these ends, Damone Harris and Chuck Harris, no relation, have been outstanding for Buffalo throughout the season and tonight.
Doege needs to get to the 30 here, and he will. Pass complete, right in stride to Pugh. Janarvis Pugh, the redshirt sophomore out of Hollywood, Florida. Just his 9th catch of the season, and it goes for 28.
Miles Nicholas has pressure on Doege, but it doesn't matter. And you mentioned he steps up into the pocket again. His pocket awareness and movement is it's an instinctual thing. He's been doing it for a long time. He's seen it, but he is outstanding at it.
Doege will flip it out here. A soft one and a big hit from Roberts coming up. He got Scott Miller, who has been active in the middle of this defense. 6 yards on 1st down.
And that's another, basically a sight adjust / audible. And Doege saw that the safety was about 10, 11 yards deep off of Miller. And so they both know, hey, hitch that thing up and take your 6 yards.
Josh Cleveland back in as the running back. Doege keeps it, and he didn't see anything there.
And had he been able to get it away from Cleveland a little more clean, he probably would have got around Chuck Harris. But in that instance, Harris was given a little extra time because Doege was trying to wrest the ball away from Cleveland.
Falcons came into the game tied for 108th in the nation on 3rd down. Tonight, they are 7 for 11.
And they have 5 wide receivers in the ball game here in this empty set.
Only a rush of 3. Incomplete from Doege. There was nobody home there.
No, he changed his mind after he saw, at the last second, he saw Khalil Hodge, the linebacker, lurking in the hole. And so he pulled the string on the throw, because had he thrown it to the receiver, this is going to be a pick by Hodge. You see him right sitting in the middle there, and that was just a good decision by Doege late to make that throw, because he was looking for the freshman Morris.
Mike Jinks told us the best thing about Doege last week was he threw some balls away.
Mm-hmm.
Osborne nearly bobbled the punt, catches it off his chest, and ends up with a good return out to the 34. Colby Coleman on the stop. Friday on ESPN, it is the 6th annual Armed Forces Classic, honoring America's heroes and kicking off college basketball. SEC and Big 12 contenders, Texas A&M and West Virginia from Ramstein Air Base in Germany at 6 Eastern. That's midnight in Germany. Available on the ESPN app. Excited to see this Mountaineers team. And Javon Carter, the Big 12 reigning Defensive Player of the Year, playing that frantic, up-tempo pressing style that Bob Huggins loves. Anderson on the ground for Buffalo as the Bulls begin another possession. 4 yards on 1st down for the redshirt freshman who's become their bell cow. No sign of Emmanuel Reed after 2 fumbles in the first half.
And Anderson has stepped in and done a really nice job. And he's a bigger back at 5'10", 220 pounds. And he's had some nice runs. And it's been a little more difficult to tackle him than some of the other guys.
This is a Buffalo team that was just 2-10 last year, coming in at 3-6, needing to win out to become eligible for a bowl game. They've lost 6 games by less than 5 points per on average. Over the middle, Johnson with a couple of broken tackles. And another as he dives down to the 42.
That's a really nice throw from Tyree Jackson. He slid it in. The linebacker, Nate Locke, almost got there, but he gets it in quickly into that little seam, and then watch Johnson go after he makes a catch. He's exciting. Nice numbers there for Johnson thus far.
And showing no ill effects from that elbow injury, that's for sure. He'll get a breather. Jacob Martinez has taken his spot. This is the first touch for Pickett. And Cameron Pickett with a nice run on first down.
And Pickett had just 5 carries for 7 yards coming into the game. Had 1 catch, but he's getting action tonight. And we'll see how he does. But I'm pretty convinced at this point that Emmanuel Reed will not see the field again.
This is a Buffalo team that is on 9 days rest after a 1-point loss at Akron Saturday, the 28th of October.
And they finally got a few days off. They had played every weekend of the season prior to getting that little time off, and they needed it, and they look well rested.
Jackson heaving it over the middle, and that was nearly intercepted. Clint Stevens got his hand on it. The target was KJ Osborne.
And there were 2 men in the area. Stevens making the underneath coverage, and then they had to throw it over the top of him, and that's why, you know, if there's one thing maybe that Tyree Jackson needs a little bit more work on is taking a little bit of that steam off the ball and putting more air under it. You know, a lot of his throws, although that one deep ball, he got it way up in the sky. But on some of the more intermediate throws, he heats them up a little much.
Johnson back in the game, wide to the left. Jackson not looking his way. That is a steamer of a throw. A heat-seeking missile to Mabry for a first down.
Nice little route by Mabry. He's going to run a wheel stop. A lot of times you see these wheel routes where they go all the way up the field. You try and sneak somebody outside the corner. This time he runs that outside the corner route and then breaks it off, and then the throw and the timing is perfect. And that's a nice grab.
Second of the game for Mabry, who is a high school teammate of KJ Osborne. Both out of Ypsilanti, Michigan. They both ended up at IMG Academy, that football factory down in Florida. Pickett. And a short gain on first. Cameron Pickett into the teeth of Nico Lautinen, the nose tackle, making his second straight start.
Buffalo has done extremely well with the passing game, but you have to mix a run in there every once in a while, and that's what that play was all about.
Down to a minute remaining here in this third quarter. Tyree Jackson has thrown for nearly 400 yards for Buffalo, but Bowling Green has continued to bounce back.
Yeah, they're hanging in there, aren't they?
A couple of timely takeaways.
Buffalo missed a field goal the last drive to keep them within 1 score. It's just one of those games. And when you let a team hang around, you want to be real careful because they'll come up and get you, and that's what Bowling Green plans to do.
Bulls do have to snap it one more time in this third quarter after the 4-yard run by Anderson. Where do you look here? 3rd and 5 on the edge of the red zone.
I'm going to try and involve number 83, Anthony Johnson, at some point, whether he's the primary target or I use him as a decoy.
Now he's wide left. There's not a safety over there. Instead, it's a run for Anderson across the 20, and it is a first down.
That's a really nice play call, and you had an outstanding block by KJ Osborne in the slot that allowed him to get that extra yardage.
Lance Leipold and his Bulls running all the way to the other side of this field. They lead by 7. They'll look for a 2-score lead when we return to the 4th. Fun little Maxon game here on a Tuesday night. Buffalo looking to stay bowl eligible at home. Huge quarter for those two men. Mike Jinks on the left, second-year head coach Bowling Green. Lance Leipold in his 3rd year at Buffalo trying to keep his Bulls bowl eligible. They need to win their last 3. They need to hang on to this victory. leading by 7, but they have struggled in the red zone tonight, Ray Bentley.
Yeah, and it's been an issue all season long. Fortunately for them, they've been able to hit a lot of big plays from outside the red zone, but they need more production here. And now they just cost themselves 5 yards up top.
They're going to back out of the red zone.
Anthony Johnson, false start.
False start. Number 83, offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
He's trying to plead his case over there, but there's no doubt he hitched before the ball was snapped.
About the only false note in his night.
Right.
8 catches, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns for Johnson. Buffalo is led by as much as 14. Bowling Green has cut it to 7 twice. And now the Bulls have a 1st and 15 from the 23.
And they've got Johnson all alone with a lot of field to work with.
And Jackson knows it. Up for his primary target. And it's incomplete. Knocked away by Montre Gregory.
Gregory almost picked that thing off. He had it momentarily and then lost it when he went out of the end zone. And this is a heck of a play from Gregory because he's been schooled pretty much all night. This time he was aggressive and going. He grabbed the receiver and then he went for the ball. That should have been pass interference in my opinion.
That's more than incidental.
Yeah, that's a haven't seen you in a while hug.
Well, there was a break between quarters.
Yeah, right. It has probably been a little bit.
On 2nd and long, Bulls will keep it on the ground with Anderson. Not much doing. Nate Locke, terrific middle linebacker, fills the hole. And this is a big 3rd down for Buffalo, which just had Adam Mitchison miss a 32-yard field goal.
Yeah, you almost think they're in 4-down territory with the way the kicker's functioning. But I don't know. We'll see what they do on this 3rd down.
Well, from here it'll be about 38 if you don't get any yards. Try to at least get some more, make it a manageable kick if you don't get the first. And hold your horses.
Timeout. Bowling Green. First timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Mike Jinks, Perry Eliano want to talk it over before this critical 3rd and long.
And they obviously didn't like the way they were lined up and decided they would change that.
We've got a great game for you Saturday night. Playoff rankings just came out today. Notre Dame stayed number 3. Miami moved up to number 7. Irish and Canes square off 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC and streaming live on the ESPN app. Miami has the longest win streak in the country dating back to last year. 13 in a row. Their last loss last year at Notre Dame. Fun matchup of dual threat quarterbacks here too. Brandon Wimbush for the Irish, Malik Rozier for the Hurricanes, who had a big win over Virginia Tech last week.
Yeah, I think they opened some eyes. There was some question about who have they played. Those will be answered here in these last couple of weeks.
On 3rd and 13, Jackson. A lot of defenders in coverage, and he finds his receiver, Kamani Holsey. Gregory on the stop. So no first down. This will be at least a more manageable field goal, and the Bulls will bring on Mitchison.
Jackson did a really nice job. That was his 3rd read. It's the 3rd man in his progression. He was looking deep, then he was looking for the first slant inside. Neither of those were there. He looked out to that the other slant from the outside and drilled it in there. So that's good quarterback play, even though they didn't convert.
Mitchison missed from the right hash from 32. This from 31. And he got it. Adam Mitchison connects, and Buffalo's lead is 10. Mitchison's field goal gives Buffalo a 2-score lead, and Lance Leipold will take every point he can get. He knows he's needed them in some of these heartbreaking losses for Buffalo. Couple of 1-point losses there. Northern Illinois and Akron. They led Army 17-7 in the 4th early in the season. And, of course, the Western Michigan game. Time for the longest game in FBS history. 71-68 was the final. You flip 2 of those games. Buffalo's 5-4, and they'd be bowl eligible with a win tonight. You flip one of them, they have a good chance. But as it stands, Leipold's team has to win out to make it to the postseason. Matt Wilcox for Bowling Green, trying to make something happen in the return game. And a spinorama up near the 35. Let's talk about that 7 overtime game a little bit. Folks in Buffalo don't want to talk about it much. Western Michigan came into town. FBS record 139 points, a 4.5-hour game. Tied for the longest game by overtimes in FBS history, and it wasn't even a Tyree Jackson-led Buffalo team. Drew Anderson, the backup quarterback, had an awesome performance, but Jarvion Franklin won it for Western Michigan. And then Anderson, in the next game, went down with a season-ending shoulder injury. Bulls had to turn to the true freshman Kyle Van Treese for a start. Good start to this drive. Claire high-stepping it near midfield for Bowling Green. 16 yards, first down.
I love it. At the end of that play, Claire acted like he was going to go out of bounds and then step back into the face of the defender and delivered a blow.
But to get back to Buffalo, I think it's a little misleading to see 3 and 6. Yes, they've had some injuries, and every team does, but to an unusual extent, and some of these losses have been just bad luck, tough to explain otherwise.
Yeah, I have to agree. And you know, in talking to Coach, he said we are vastly improved across the board. We just haven't turned that into wins yet, and that's what the next step is for this Buffalo program.
Daggy, another deep ball, one-on-one, and Guyton makes the adjustment to reel it in. What a play by the Oregon State transfer, locked up with Brandon Williams for 39.
And that's a 50-50 ball, and they love the way that Jarret Doege will give his guy an opportunity. And he overthrew a couple early on, but since that time, he's been very good throwing the ball down the field, and that's a huge play.
From the 11-yard line, Claire. And a late flag comes in from behind the plate, thrown by the referee, Ron Hudson.
Nose. Looks like they're pointing at Buffalo.
Personal foul. Legal hands to the face. Number 91 of the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
That's Damone Harris.
He's working on Austin Labus and just got the hand slid up into the grill, and they're going to get you on that. You know, that's one point of emphasis. They're looking for it, and you see Harris on the outside, 91, and the hands just slip up and you get up into his throat. You can't do that. You got to get it out of there.
Doege to throw it from the 2. Flicks it out to the far side. What a toss, and it's reeled in for a touchdown by Miller.
Beat the safety, Tim Roberts, but this is a classic rub route. It's two guys right at on that left side, and they just crisscross, and that created the separation and allowed for a perfect throw from Doege to land into Miller's breadbasket. Gets nice air under that football, and there's really no chance to stop it. Bowling Green answers again, quickly.
What an answer it was.
Jarret Doege in there, they're never out of a ball game.
66 yards in 79 seconds, Ray. How about the play of this young man and his receivers?
He's been outstanding, and you got to, I mean, don't count Bowling Green out. It's been one of those kind of nights, and with Doege throwing dimes, they're still in it.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Sam Adams. Fill your glass. And Allstate, official protector of college football fans.
Fun Tuesday night it's been in Buffalo. Fun to have action back, these midweek games, and this is an awfully consequential one for the Bulls. They need to hang on. Neither went out to make a bowl, but Bowling Green is not going down quietly. The true freshman Jarret Doege, the redshirt sophomore Tyree Jackson have been awesome tonight.
They really have. I mean, the numbers are pretty self-explanatory, but Jackson and his ability to heave it downfield, he gets a little edge in the yardage. But both of them have been extremely accurate. They've made excellent decisions. No egregious interception type throws, and they've been able to move the ball down the field. And we got a barn burner here, and I don't know if Buffalo's too excited about a close game in the fourth quarter.
Bowling Green has not led tonight. They're trailed by 14 twice. They've cut it to 3. This kickoff will be fielded by Osborne inbounds. Makes one defender miss. Dances along the sideline and is upended across the 30.
And this, it looks like it's a kicker that makes this hit, Nick Fields. You see him make the guy miss and then flying in there late. Watch out for that guy.
23 on the return for Osborne, who decided not to let the ball bounce out of bounds.
He's going to hear it, though, when the guys see that a kicker upended him like that.
So Tyree Jackson will start this drive from his 33. Give it to Theo Anderson. A season-high night for the redshirt freshman who tacks on 7 more yards, now 76 on 12 carries.
And he don't like to go down very much. I mean, we've seen several scrums at the end of his runs where he's just fighting for everything.
If you're just joining us and you're wondering where is Emmanuel Reed, Buffalo's starting back, he's in the doghouse. He lost 2 fumbles in the first half. Did run in a touchdown, but lost the second fumble at the goal line. Anderson has played almost the entire second half with some help from Cameron Pickett. Jackson will give it back to him on the cut. Anderson, a first down run.
Nice block by Manuel Salvis, the left guard. He totally washed his man down, and that opened up the cutback for Theo Anderson.
How about the balance here for Buffalo now, Ray? That's 34 pass attempts, 29 runs. We talked to Andy Kotelnicki, the offensive coordinator. This is what he wanted to do.
This is exactly what he wanted. They've been a little pass heavy the last 4 or 5 weeks or so, and he wanted to get it closer to 50-50, and they're getting closer here tonight.
Johnson was the motion man. Jackson will rip a throw up in the air and incomplete. Dangerous ball, and there's a flag down late near where Johnson was hit.
Boy, and Jackson missed his tight end. Mabry was wide open running down the middle of the field. Never got his eyes over there to check out the
Personal
backside.
foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 50 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That is Jonah Harper, a huge penalty for Bowling Green.
That's the problem. The Bowling Green football team is a little bit young. I mean, they're playing a lot of young guys, and you start making mistakes and doing extra things, and they cost you. I don't know if I saw it. I mean, he's in the middle there. He took a hit late. I'll have to take their word for it.
It's Buffalo Bulls coming off a 1-point loss at Akron 10 days ago. So many close calls this year, hoping to finish a game in the fourth quarter. Anderson plunging ahead for 2. Bulls just 2-10 last year. They were 5-4 at one point. Lance Leipold's first season lost the final 3. They have dominated in terms of yardage tonight. Nearly a 400-yard passing game, and it's frankly an element that Lance Leipold's not had in his 3 years, what Jackson can do.
Yeah, and it's their red zone issues that have made this game closer. They haven't gotten the point production relative to their yardage production. And usually when you have that disconnect, it's due to the red zone issues.
4 trips, a touchdown, a field goal, a missed field goal, and a fumble. Jackson will keep it here and find a wide-open KJ Osborne. Osborne squirming forward to the 21. 14 yards. First down, Buffalo.
It's a run-pass option here, and Jackson sees Brandon Harris attacking the box and knows that the man in the slot's going to be wide open, and he gets it out there on time and accurately.
Over 400 yards now for the first time in his career, Jackson. On his 20th birthday, the redshirt sophomore from Michigan. And Jackson flips it out here. It is reeled in, but out of bounds, and then the ball, I think, was lost late as well. It was Kamadi Holzer who did not come down with the football.
Yeah, and it's just finishing the play because the pass is just perfect over the top. goes up to get it, and when he brings it in and hits the ground, it looks like his elbow got jarred by contact with the ground, and that popped the ball out. Got to secure that baby. Get two hands on it if you can.
A nice bounce away from Anderson here, and then he bulldozes his way through Cameron Jeffries.
That was a really nice run. First of all, he gets a little bit stacked up behind his offensive tackle on the left side, but he keeps running through that, and then he busts the edge. And when he gets the edge, he's got a full head of steam coming, and then it's lookout time. He's run the ball really well tonight.
He's closing in on 100 yards, 98 on 15. Extra tight end Molinich is in. Anderson driving his way in. He won't go down. He scores a Buffalo touchdown.
And you got to give the assist to Tomas Jack Cardilla, because he took his man from that right guard position and ran him 5 yards out of the way, opening up a huge hole that Anderson blasted through. Watch the right guard. He is going to take that guy in the one technique on the inside and just walk him out of the deal.
That was Loughton at number 54, 6'3", 276, blown up by 6'4", 302.
Got put on some skates right there.
He is from Montreal, Mr.
There you go.
Cardilla. Second touchdown run of Anderson's career. The Bulls back up 10. Theo Anderson is getting a well-deserved warm-up jacket. 189 yards on the season, 3.3 yards per carry coming into tonight. And the backup running back, who was really the third stringer at the start of the year, has answered the call after Emmanuel Reed's fumbling issues. What a drive for him on the last Buffalo possession. 37 yards and a touchdown. His first career 100-yard game. Trouble with the kick here.
Yeah, Fulkersman couldn't get a handle on it. So he just put it on jumped on it.
Long way to go for the Falcons from their own 20. Saturday, ESPN college football playoff spots are on the line. Clemson's got to win out, you'd think, to make it. The defending champs have Florida State, who is still trying to spoil somebody's season. 3:30, then Alabama, Mississippi State at 7 Eastern. Both games on ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN app. See if the Crimson Tide are challenged in Starkville as Jalen Hurts faces a good dual threat in Nick Fitzgerald. Jarrett Doege and Bowling Green with the 1st and 10 after the kickoff. And look at this hit. Tatum slack. Oh, he just blew up Andrew Clare.
Yeah, he didn't give him any slack on that one. That's how you come up and make a hit. He blew Clare up on his quick little out route. If you ever wondered how you're supposed to attack after a ball is caught in front of you, now you know.
Would you call that a slack attack, Ray?
Yeah, I will.
Yard for Clare here, 3rd and 4, and a huge one for Bowling Green coming up. Chibuzi Onwuka with the stop. Well, Bowling Green is running out of time here. Offense has not been the issue, but they are down 2 scores with 8 minutes to go.
They love Scott Miller at number 3 in the slot, the trips to the top.
Doege looking that way. Pocket breaks down. Doege knocked away. Khalil Hodge.
And Bowling Green, that might have been picked had Hodge not knocked it down, because it looked like there was another guy right back behind him. Hargrove was waiting to pick that thing off. See number 16 up there. He had his eye on that one. He might have stolen it. But still a nice play by Hodge, coming in there on the blitz, keeping his eyes active and ready, and then batting that thing out of the air. Huge play for that Buffalo defense, forcing this punt.
And it's a fake.
Or not.
Or is it?
What's he going to do?
Or it is. First down. Davidson on the run. He didn't look like he knew what he was going to do.
He wasn't sure. Now, they give you an option, if they trust you anyway, as a punter. And when you do that rugby-style kick, you can run, and if you can keep running, then you keep going. But it's going to be on Bowling Green. Looks like illegal formation.
More than 4 players in the backfield on the offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay 4th down.
Oh, and those are the things that will drive a coach crazy. Because now instead of converting it on a play that you weren't really counting on, now you got to go back and try to kick it again.
You're going to start to see some gray hair sprouting from underneath that winter cap of Mike Jiggs. Boy, does that crush Bowling Green.
Yeah, they almost had a huge break on a heads-up play by Davidson. Hey, if nobody's going to stop you and tackle you, keep running it. They did a nice job of that, but they lined up wrong.
What do you think? Fake it again, just for fun?
No.
Davidson will kick it away. Not his best kick of the night, although it's been a strong night for him, and he does get a Bowling Green bounce.
Might be worn out from running.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him. Good karma for him, I suppose, after making the run 47 yards thanks to the roll. Hey, tonight at midnight Eastern, SVP has SportsCenter at night on ESPN, where he'll talk to Ric Flair after the big 30 for 30. Also break down the Bucks and Cavs, a showdown between LeBron and Giannis. Everything you need to know as well about the latest college football playoff rankings. Top 5 stay the same. SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt, also on the ESPN app. $7:11 to go for Buffalo with the football in the lead. Must-win game for the Bulls. Anderson. Now, why not keep running it with this young man?
We get a scrum after just about every one of Anderson's inside runs.
Starting to look like rugby.
He will not go down. And it's a bit of a revelation. I don't know that Lance Leipold and company knew what they had, because Anderson has not performed like this. I watched several games, and he would come in and spell Reed on occasion, but really never jumped off the screen like he is tonight.
I was going to say there weren't flashes of this you saw in film, really,
nothing.
were they?
That's why I'm so shocked and taken aback, and I'm sure the staff kind of feels the same way. As where you been, Anderson?
7 yards a carry. Buffalo is closing in on 600 yards of offense. Anderson. And that's another reason that loss of the fake punt hurt so badly, is that Bowling Green just can't afford to keep giving the football to Buffalo the way the Bulls have moved it tonight.
Yeah, and it had been pass early on. That's all it was, really. And now with Anderson, they've added a whole new facet in terms of the running game, which is going to open up some play-action pass down the road here if they want to take a shot.
406 yards through the air. Buffalo now at 167 on the ground.
Pretty productive night. Andy Kotelnicki, the offensive coordinator, might take a Zamboni ride to celebrate after this one.
He knows a thing or two about those ice machines.
The ice resurfacers,
That's right.
He corrected us. Zamboni is, I guess, the name of a certain kind of those things.
I didn't know that. I
had no idea either.
It's called a Zamboni.
But he drove the Zamboni in high school and was looking for a job when he got to college, and he went over and laid some knowledge on the guy and got hired on the spot.
He says he'll still criticize Zamboni drivers when he goes to Sabres games.
Timeout. Bowling Green.
Timeout, Bowling Green.
Second timeout of the half. This will be a full media timeout. Clock operator, please put 5 minutes, 43 seconds on the clock.
It was a must-win night for the Buffalo Bulls. They're 5 minutes, 39 seconds away from doing just that, keeping their bowl dreams alive as the Bulls look to make their third bowl game in school history. They're led by a young man who on his 20th birthday has thrown for a career-high 406 yards. His career-high previously, Ray Bentley,
last week,
313.
Yeah.
Just 9 days ago.
You know, it's amazing. He was a dual-threat quarterback when he got hurt. And since he's come back, he's thrown for the 300-plus and now tonight the 400-plus, and haven't seen him run the ball but one time. So he turned himself into a pocket passer while he was convalescing.
Now that's one rushing attempt in 2 games. Didn't run it at all against Akron. Key third down here. Jackson off the punt. Incomplete. He aired it out for Holsey. Just a little bit out of his reach.
And those double moves are hard to time out because your receiver's going to do a little start-stop action. And you just never know for sure how clean he will be once he restarts. That time he was pretty clean, but Jackson overthrew it. But they were going for the throat right there.
Do you like that call? You like that aggressiveness?
I like it, yeah. You know, you've got a little bit of a pad. Why not take a shot and really ice this thing? And if not, punt it to him and let your defense play. You got a 10-point lead.
Dwayne will try to pin the Falcons. Has already had a punt downed at the 1-yard line tonight. Bowling Green brings the house, and Dwayne gets it away quickly. Milton will return at his own 18 and pick up a few. 34 on the quick punt and return of 3.5. So Jarret Doege, the true freshman who led Bowling Green to 44 last week and a win at Kent State, will try to rally his team from 2 scores down. He's certainly shown that he can do it.
No doubt.
Bowling Green back time and time again tonight.
And he's going to have to connect down the field here. They're running out of time to, have him pick this defense apart with the short passes. So at some point, he's going to have to take a shot.
4 receivers on a first down. Doege gets away from pressure and finds a receiver along the sideline. T.O. Redding, short gain, but at least it is a gain. Temporarily stops the clock.
Yeah, nice little flip turn by Doege to escape that pressure. And then, again, gets his eyes down the field, identifies where to go with the ball, and gets it out quickly. If there's one thing about Doege being as young as he is, the fact that he gets the ball out so quickly is the greatest strength that he has.
Bulls are coming for him again. Doege with a flip to Claire. He's got a long way to go just to get to the line of scrimmage, and he gets it. A masterful juke move from the freshman Claire. He's 2 yards shy of a first down.
And you know what? Claire pointed to a guy, and Khalil Hodge, who was lining up to make the tackle, looked behind him to see what he was pointing at, and that got him kind of messed up. Hodge looks back a minute, and then, wait a minute, and then by the time he turns around, it's too late.
Well, now a running play to Claire is going to come up about 1.5 yards short, and Bowling Green will have to leave the offense on the field. Miles Nicholas on the stop.
Yeah, no doubt. You go for it here. And they're bringing in their big tight end, Hunter Folkertsma, into the mix, along with another big back, Donovan Wilson. First time Wilson's been in action tonight, but he's their big pounder at 222 pounds.
Wilson with his first touch, pulling his way forward, and on second effort, he got the first down.
He ran over right to get that first down, and at first it looked like, oh no, you don't run sideways on a short yardage play, but he got the shoulders turned back upfield at the end, and that's what gave him his power back. That's just him knowing I got to get there, and he did.
Number 45 must sit out for 1 play. His helmet came off.
Wilson has to leave the field after the first down.
Wilson ran for over 100 yards against Buffalo last season. In fact, 3 guys ran for over 100 yards. Cleveland, and then their other back, Trent Green, who has since graduated.
We have an official discussion with 3:33 remaining.
Had a few of those tonight.
Have to go a little bit quicker here if you're Bowling Green, right? Down by 2 scores.
Yeah, at some point, like I said initially when they started this drive, got to throw the ball down the field and take your shots. Now, they do have Guyton down here at the bottom of the screen set up, and he'll be basically facing one-on-one coverage.
Please reset the game clock to 3 minutes, 52 seconds. That was the end of the last play when the helmet came off. 3:52.
So 19 more seconds for Bowling Green.
And they'll take every one of them.
Doege will float it complete. And it is Miller jetting across midfield. Coverage by Gaddafi Wright. And again, they got Miller in space on a linebacker.
Right, and that's lining him up in that number 3 spot out of trips. And that's where, you're going to get that matchup. And when they put him in a slot, he's going to get a safety, and that's a favorable matchup as well.
He's in the slot right here. Williamson, the safety on him. Daigie will find Miller, who finds this soft spot and stumbles out of bounds. A little bit shy of a first down. He picks up 8, temporarily stops the clock.
Yeah, and Buffalo has moved their defensive backs back another couple steps, and they are well aware of what's the time is on the clock and the fact that Daigie's going to have to take a shot deep at some point, and they're going to try not to allow that.
Bulls just subbed in 4 new defensive players, and this pass dropped over the middle by Wilcox.
Dropped and kicked. Is that a drop kick?
I suppose if you want to create your own new statistic,
yeah.
sure.
Well, I mean, drop kick used to be a big part of the game back in the day.
I think Doug Flutie was the last to do it.
Yeah,
These were the Patriots a few years back.
Didn't Ric Flair do some drop kicking back in his day?
Daigie on a 3rd and 2. And complete to Miller. Inside the 20.
And Daigie did a really nice job with his eyes on that play. First he looked left, then he stared the safety in the middle of the field down, freezing him, and that bought him the time to zip it out to Miller.
Big game for Miller, over 100 yards receiving. Former first-team All-MAC player. Daigie gets rid of it and just chucks it away.
And that's the first time I think Daigie felt ghosts. You know, pretty much he's been settled in the pocket. That time he still had plenty of time. There was no Buffalo pass rush coming to him, and he kind of felt it. That alarm went off. The clock in his head ticked one too many times. He just threw it away.
Falcons down 2 scores from the Buffalo 20. Daigie's got to get rid of this one, and he just barely did. Incomplete.
Yeah, Kennedy Amesby coming around the corner and to the back side, the blind side, and Daigie never saw him. And Amesby, he could have done some serious damage. That's him on the left side, and he's just going to speed rush this thing and get home. A little grab and pull move.
Transfer from Cal Amesby. Darts out of the game in the defensive line rotation after a big-time play. Falcons have been good on 3rd down tonight.
And they need 10 points at least. So.
Daigie botched the snap. Ball is on the ground. They're not getting at any points here. Buffalo football.
And that's an error by Daigie. He needs to just drop on that football.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Buffalo.
Chibuzi Onwuka got his hands on it.
But Daigie's a little too casual on this one because he'll just reach with one hand to pick it up. He still is trying to stay in it, but you got to understand that ball's too valuable. You got to just pop on that one and take your field goal try.
That's the second time, Ray, that Chuck Harris is forced to fumble, knock the ball out. And the Bulls, with only one Bowling Green timeout, can all but bleed it away.
Yeah, Daigie initially fumbled it and then tried to pick it up, and that's when Harris came in and did his dirty work.
Should be a steady diet of Anderson now. And Buffalo hopes he holds onto the football. No fumbles here, and the Bulls are all but guaranteed their 4th win. So many close calls this year.
It's a little early to say that around here, isn't it?
Sure.
The way they've been this year.
Only one timeout, though, for Bowling Green. There was so many close calls this year for Buffalo. This would be an enormous feel-good win, frankly.
Yeah, it's been a heart-wrenching season. I mean, they've been on the cusp and had opportunities and missed a couple of kicks in their one-point losses, and the grueling 7 overtime loss to Western Michigan. I mean, some heartbreaking things. Enough for a lifetime.
Jackson will wait to 3 to snap it. Anderson. Bowling Green has that one timeout left, and the Falcons are going to use it now.
Nice play there by Schwederman, diving underneath there to make the
Bowling
tackle.
Green, 3rd and final timeout of the half.
Bulls need to win if they want to go to a bowl. See if they can hang on when we return. The first down run. Anderson will take it, and he has the first down. Fitting that Theo Anderson would put the cherry on top after a career-high 130-plus rushing yards. Redshirt freshman has played almost every down of offensive football in this second half.
And I'm thinking you're looking at next week's starter as well, because with a performance like that, you ride that hot hand. And yeah, you'll let it read out of the doghouse. You'll give him a few reps here and there, but right now it's Anderson's job, and he took it tonight in the second half mostly.
Well, the bottom line for Buffalo is this was a game they could not lose. They had to have it. They have to have next Thursday's game at Ball State, which has really struggled this year. Then they have to have a game the following Friday against Ohio to become bowl eligible. They are one step closer, though, and at the moment, Lance Leipold has doubled his win total from last year.
Yeah, and he's done a great job. And he said they've seen significant improvement throughout the season. It hadn't manifested on the scoreboard. Well, tonight it did in a big way.
Tyree Jackson on his 20th birthday threw for 406 yards, a career high, and 3 touchdowns. And he gets a hug from his head coach.
Break out the cake. A lot of things to celebrate here tonight for the UB Bulls.
Well, you ever had a birthday this good?
I can't recall one. I never threw for 400 yards in my life. I know that.
Tyree and the Bulls stay bowl eligible. 406 yards. Anthony Johnson caught 160 of them. And Buffalo gets the hard-earned back-and-forth win. A really fun Tuesday night game as Buffalo defeats Bowling Green 38-28. 2 wins to a bowl for Lance Leipold's Bulls. That'll do it here for some Tuesday action, Ring.
Yeah, great effort by the Bulls tonight. A fun football game. That's some action right there.
2 more for Buffalo and Bowling Green. Tomorrow night, some good action as well. Toledo, Ohio. Don't forget to join us for that. For Ray Bentley and our entire ESPN Youth crew, I'm Kevin Brown. Up next, the College Football Playoff Top 25, presented by Goodyear.